Immortal Cultivation. I run an internet cafe in another world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 676. Rare Species. Stop talking. I won't agree to this. Bai Luo felt their gazes and could guess what they were going to say from their eyes, so he quickly expressed his thoughts. After he finished speaking, he didn't wait for their reaction and was ready to leave here quickly, not wanting them to continue to pester him, which would be very troublesome, beyond his acceptance. Ursu and the others realized Bai Luo's actions, and naturally they were not ready to give up. After Bai Luo rejected them, he felt relieved in his heart, but he subconsciously looked in their direction and found that they were not going to give up on this matter. He began to have a headache, thinking about this matter, and guessed that it might not be so easy to end. After all, it was such a big show. Bai Luo didn't say anything and quickly wanted to leave, but found that there were pairs of hands on his arms and legs, and finally he had no choice but to sit back. His brows were tightly knitted, and when he opened his mouth to continue to refuse, he felt the voices around him ring again. Brother Bai, this position can only be yours. Yes, we think you are the most suitable, and we can't find anyone else. Before Bai Luo came to his senses, he heard the sound of booing one after another, and some of them were even unclear. But in his heart, he knew that these people had the same purpose, and he also knew that in such a situation, if he confronted them head on, there would be no benefit. Bai Luo's heart began to be tangled. He had made all preparations, but he didn't expect that it would become such a scene now. He didn't know what to do. He listened to the booing voices and still had no intention of stopping. Such a noisy environment made his head start to buzz. Okay. Don't say anything, I promise you. Really? That's great. In the end, Bai Luo knew that he couldn't do anything, so he could only agree to this matter verbally, but he was still reluctant in his heart. He quickly expressed what he wanted to say in his heart, and felt the changes in Ursu and the others' expressions, and their eyes were full of helplessness. Bai Luo stood up quickly after he finished speaking. Listening to their excited voices, he shook his head and quickly left this place of trouble. After he went back, everything around him became quiet. Without the chaotic sounds just now, his heart was calm for a moment. But Bai Luo knew that this matter must be explained clearly. After all, in his heart, he only agreed verbally, not sincerely. He used this method just to get out of it. Otherwise, they knew that they might have spent a whole day on this matter. Bai Luo fell asleep on the bed while thinking about it. Looking at what happened in the morning, there were still many good things, so he simply relaxed his body and mind. When he woke up, it was already afternoon. He moved his body. He didn't expect it to be like this. Such mistakes rarely happened. Bai Luo quickly moved his body, thinking that there were still many things to do, so he hurried out, thinking that now was an important moment for their cultivation, and they couldn't slack off. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but speed up. Unexpectedly, just when he went out, before he had time to check, he found a wild beast breaking in. At first, Bai Luo thought he was dazzled, so he rubbed his eyes and continued to observe. He didn't expect that it was real. How can there be wild beasts? He was still a little shocked when he saw this situation, so he talked to himself and then hurried to the direction of the beast, ready to take measures. The only way Bai Luo could think of now was to drive it away. After all, such a situation was unexpected. If he really did this, it would not work. He quickly came to the direction of the beast and observed that it seemed to be different from other beasts, so he couldn't help frowning. Bai Luo didn't say anything, but directly prepared to do so. He planned to think about other problems after solving them. Now the most urgent thing is this. Just before he made a move, he suddenly saw a figure flashing in front of him. Before he could react, he heard the surrounding sounds. Bai Luo quickly looked in the direction of the sound and found that it was Ursu who rushed up with a machete and chopped the beast. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. His pupils dilated for a moment, and the surroundings gradually became silent. Everyone looked at Ursu in shock. They had never seen anything like this. Bai Luo was also surprised. He knew that wild beasts were quite ferocious. Such a big move made him look at Ursu with a new eye, but he didn't say it. Compared with the reactions of the crowd, Ursu, who had just done this, seemed to be different from them. He didn't react at all, just like chopping a piece of pork. Bai Luo shook his head helplessly. The scene in front of him made him pinch his temples. Then he thought that things had developed to this point, and it couldn't be wasted. He looked at the beast on the ground, which had no breath. The people around him stared at the meat on his body, and couldn't help swallowing their saliva, which made him more determined. I plan to. Bai Luo was about to say what he was thinking. Just after saying a few words, he heard an inexplicable movement around him, so he interrupted in time. His expression became serious. He knew that the noise just now was not caused by the natural environment, so he began to look for it, looking impatient. Bai Luo walked carefully in the direction of the sound, waved to them to reassure them, and hurried over to check the situation. When he arrived at the location of the sound, he found a blue magic core there, which made him stunned for a moment. Bai Luo knew all this, but it was still a little unexpected that he appeared here now, so he simply fell into deep thought, but soon reacted. He thought about the beast that had just appeared and knew that there must be a connection between them, otherwise it would not be such a coincidence, so he talked to himself. It turns out to be a rare species. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he was very fortunate that they did not eat the meat of the beast just now, otherwise there would be unexpected results. Chapter 677, Discovering Clues. He also considered the safety of everyone, so he rushed back to the place where he had just been, intending to quickly stop them from doing anything else. Bai Luo quickly went back and saw that everyone had just been around ZHU and found that there were beast meats of different sizes around him. You can't eat it. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he saw ZHU and others stop what they were doing, and they all looked at him in shock, full of questions. Thinking about what he had just discovered, he also understood their current mood. After all, they were already holding the beast meat, but they couldn't eat it, and could only look at it, which was definitely not what they wanted. Brother Bai, why is this? Look at the beast. Bai Luo thought that this matter was not as simple as he imagined, so he observed in the direction of the beast, and happened to find some clues. He listened to everyone's questions, and knew that, if he didn't respond to them, they would definitely ask questions endlessly, and he wouldn't be able to give them a good explanation. After Bai Luo thought about it, he pointed to the place he had just discovered, looked in their direction, and told them these things in a serious tone. He didn't want to be blamed, so he was ready to tell them, so that they could understand the truth better, and it would be helpful. There are many sword marks on the beast's body. I guess there must be someone nearby. Ursu and the others had just checked and found something different, but they still felt a little sorry and even thought it didn't mean much. They looked at Bai Luo with doubtful eyes, but they didn't expect him to continue talking about what he found, which made them pay attention to it. In particular, Ursu had a very good impression of Bai Luo, so he simply believed what he said, but there were still some doubts in his heart. Brother Bai, what does this have to do with the beast? Maybe the other party's strength is not bad. You listen to me. Be careful. Bai Luo thought that the beast had just appeared and they might still be around, guessing that if he went out now, he might make a major discovery. He looked in their direction and found that through the conversation just now, they gradually understood the matter, so he patted their shoulders and nodded. Bai Luo left here quickly, thinking that such a tricky matter should be dealt with quickly, otherwise if time is wasted, there will be no way to catch it. He did not have time to see the reaction of Ursu and others, and hurried back to the room. Because he did not know the strength of the other party, he still had to be prepared. Ursu and others looked at Bai Luo's back as he left. Their faces were a little solemn, and they looked at the meat of the beast, but did not move after all. He knew that the reason why Bai Luo was so anxious was that he must have gone to find out the situation. Thinking of this, he could not cause trouble for him, so he simply did as he said. When Bai Luo was thinking about leaving, he suddenly thought of the people just now. and Xin was in danger, so he went to find Duo and Mondo on purpose. He knew that he had to explain this place well, otherwise if something else happened, it would be a big loss, so he still had to be prepared for both. Mondo, Duo, you protect them well, I'm now. Bai Luo thought about the urgency of time, so he started to talk to them briefly. When he saw them, he did not want to delay too long, and secretly thought in his heart that he had to check the reason carefully. He looked at Duo and the others, and nodded in agreement. He was still relieved about them. He walked to the door, thought of something, and turned back to continue. By the way, don't go out randomly. After Bai Luo finished his last instructions, he walked away quickly. Following the general direction he had just grasped, he unknowingly came to an open place. He found a large number of crabapple flowers, and was immediately attracted by such a beautiful scenery. He couldn't help but stop and start to appreciate it. Bai Luo's pupils were filled with crabapple flowers. He couldn't see other places around him. It seemed that he was the only one in it at this moment. He didn't pay attention to the situation behind him at all. All his attention was on this. He had never seen such a beautiful scenery, but after admiring it for a while, he realized that something was wrong. He even felt a chill on his back. He didn't think it was a good sign. Bai Luo looked a little nervous, but thinking that he was here, he still turned his head quickly and saw the three men in black in front of him. Their sights met in the air, which made him frown. He didn't expect that there would be three people. Bai Luo knew that he was alone now, but he was still very confident in the face of such a situation, and rushed forward without any hesitation. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 = 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. He took out the weapon in his hand, not knowing what their real strength was, so he simply prepared to test it in this way first. The three men in black on the opposite side never expected Bai Luo to be so impulsive. Seeing the man who was so close and accelerating, they were forced to resist. They looked at Bai Luo's actions and looked at each other. Soon, several people fought in a group on the open ground. The scene was still very chaotic. At this time, Bai Luo wanted to get more clues, so he had already given up. The situation between the two sides became back and forth, and they tested each other. During the fight, he carefully explored their movements and observed them at the same time. He thought that their strength was also average, so he couldn't help but say, "You should compromise quickly. You can see my strength." Bai Luo thought he was quite capable, so he planned to stop the fight, which would save him a lot of time to sort out the whole story. After he finished speaking, he saw that the three men in black were not moved at all. They looked calm, as if they had not heard what he said at all. After hearing what he said, the three men in black quickly took out a small bottle and swallowed the contents quickly. They had no intention of stopping, and even planned to fight Bai Luo to the end, so they sped up. Bai Luo quickly felt the improvement of their cultivation. Thinking of the scene he had just seen, he still felt a little incredible. He guessed that it might be the elixir, and now he had opened his eyes, so he couldn't help but say in shock in his heart, "It's really amazing. They can use such a method?" Bai Luo thought secretly in his heart, but he didn't plan to give up just like that. After all, he hadn't yet exerted his true strength, so he was also ready to fight them to the end. Chapter 678 Explanation of the situation. Seeing that the men in black did not stop, he became even more proud, and even thought that this was a good opportunity to learn from them. Thinking this way, Bai Luo used all his skills, thinking that if he really solved them in this way, he might be more confident in front of them. He did not expect this situation to happen. He originally thought that they would persuade him to retreat. Now it seems that he still thought that their strength was too strong. Bai Luo just looked at them, and the three men in black surrounded him tightly in the middle, leaving no gaps around him. Facing such a situation, he was still not ready to retreat. Even after the scene he just saw, he was ready for them to rely on elixirs to improve their cultivation again. Through the fight just now, Bai Luo had already observed that the weapons in their hands were similar to the sword marks on the beasts, and his suspicion of them became even greater. He never thought that there was a coincidence, but the current situation made it impossible for him to just give up on this matter, so he was still ready to ask clearly. You still have no intention of stopping? Bai Luo watched the time pass by minute. After all, the two sides did not fight to a winner, but he was a little exhausted physically and mentally. He had not expected this to happen. If he had known, he might have used other methods to express his thoughts. Bai Luo observed them after he finished speaking. Suddenly, he saw the three men in black stop what they were doing and said in his direction, "Let's talk." He frowned and looked at them. He found that they were already out of breath, so he did not pursue the matter too much and stopped. Bai Luo seemed to be relieved when he heard their voices. Obviously, he was a little surprised. He thought they would hold on for a while. However, when he saw this situation, he was ready to talk about it. He didn't want to solve it with force if he could communicate with his mouth. "Then I ask you, why are you following me?" Bai Luo thought that they had just appeared behind him. He didn't think they had been waiting here for a long time. Otherwise, this scene would not be possible. After he finished speaking, he looked at them with his eyes fixed, trying to confirm the authenticity of their words, worried that they would be deceived. The three men in black heard what he asked and told him the truth about their situation here, worried that there would be other results. "We were just practicing nearby. It's just..." They were still a little hesitant when they spoke, and even stopped before they finished speaking, looking at Bai Luo's direction with cautious eyes. Bai Luo originally thought that he could know the whole story directly, but he didn't expect that he didn't say it completely, and he couldn't help but roll his eyes. Fortunately, he was still able to control his emotions in the face of such a situation, so he anxiously talked about what happened just now. "Just what?" "It's just that you took away the beast we were about to catch." Faced with Bai Luo's repeated questioning, the three men in black thought of his ability just now, which was not particularly threatening, but they still thought it was unnecessary to solve it in this way. They gritted their teeth and said it out. After all, at the beginning, they thought there was some deep hatred between them, but now it seems that it was just a matter of a beast. Bai Luo obviously didn't expect this to be the reason, and he became a little speechless for a moment, and finally could only stand there and look at them without saying a word. He roughly sorted out what they said just now, and found that there were still many loopholes, as if what they said just now was not very relevant. Bai Luo would not jump to conclusions without understanding the matter. He continued to ask after observing that their reactions were somewhat slow. "So what do you mean by following me?" There is no connection between the two. The three men in black looked at each other after hearing what he said, then scratched their heads subconsciously and said it awkwardly. "Because there are more of you, we dare not act rashly and can only observe here." Their voices were all a little subtle, especially at the end. It seemed that there was almost no sound, but fortunately they explained everything. Bai Luo listened to what they said and nodded subconsciously. He did not expect the truth of the matter to be like this. He was worried in vain just now. He was a little angry at first, and suddenly such a situation occurred, and even fought for no reason, but in the end it turned out to be such a simple reason. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. After Bai Luo thought it through, he was not too angry, and even felt a little relieved. Fortunately, he had concluded the matter. He looked at them calmly. Although they concealed it well enough, he could still see a hint of panic in their eyes, which quickly disappeared. "I can share it with you." "No, no." Bai Luo finally thought of a solution, and also thought of the fairness between the two parties, so he said the final solution directly. As soon as he finished speaking, he heard the other party's quick response to what he had just said, which made him a little unresponsive, and couldn't help but think more. "You are afraid I will really give it to you," Bai Luo explained anxiously, and seeing their strong resistance, it further confirmed his guess. "We don't mean that, but can you follow us to catch another one?" The three men in black looked at Bai Luo's somewhat impatient scene and anxiously expressed their request. This was their purpose from the beginning. Moreover, they could see Bai Luo's ability, so they believed in him, so they made such a request. After the three men in black finished speaking, they looked at him with inquiring eyes, and found that his frown relaxed in an instant, and he nodded in their direction. They were very happy with the result. Now that the matter was resolved, the panic in their hearts became relieved, and they looked at Bai Luo with a smile. After Bai Luo agreed to them, he looked at them leading the way and followed them closely. Suddenly he thought of something and stopped and said anxiously, "No, there are others. There is no way to beat you for the time being." After he finished speaking, he looked at them with a guilty look on his face and found that their expressions changed very quickly. They were happy just now, but now they became helpless. Chapter 679, Outsiders Influx. "Well, in that case, we won't bother you anymore. Let's go." The three people's lost voices rang out. Although Bai Luo was not so calm after hearing them, he also knew in his heart that it would be impossible to help the other party. Therefore, the best choice at present can only be this. After that, Bai Luo naturally chose to go back, and he knew in his heart that it would be best to return to the inn as soon as possible. So, after a brief discussion with everyone naturally chose to agree to Bai Luo. In this way, everyone also embarked on a new journey. The next morning, Bai Luo woke up in the morning sun, lying in bed for a while. Bai Luo immediately got up and prepared to go outside to see what was going on outside. I don't know what the situation is now. After tidying himself up, Bai Luo came to the outside of the inn. Before he could observe carefully, Bai Luo found something wrong. Bai Luo found that the buildings around the inn seemed to be very different. I don't know if it was my illusion or if such a change really happened. In order to verify his guess, Bai Luo carefully observed the buildings around the inn to make sure that he was not mistaken. The buildings around here were indeed very different. How could this happen? Bai Luo was full of such questions. He didn't know why this happened, and he didn't know who could answer his questions now. Just as he was thinking about whether he could ask someone, Bai Luo saw a lot of people on the street. Maybe someone could answer this question for him. Bai Luo hesitated about who to ask. Looking around the street, he suddenly found that these people seemed to be a little different. The reason why Bai Luo was able to determine that they were different so quickly was that their clothes were different from those of the villagers here. It seemed that they were outsiders. All of this was Bai Luo's guess. If he wanted to know whether it was the same as he guessed, he could only ask someone to come and ask. Bai Luo observed for a while and saw a local. He then pulled the person over and asked him, "Hey, brother, let me ask, these people don't look like locals, right? They should be outsiders?" Bai Luo pointed to the people in front and asked the big brother who was stopped by him. Hearing Bai Luo's question, the stopped big brother smiled and answered Bai Luo's question. "You don't know yet? They are indeed outsiders. There have been quite a few of them here recently. I heard they are all refugees seeking refuge here." The enthusiastic elder brother explained their situation to Bai Luo, and at this point, he did not forget to say a few more words. "You can tell from their clothes that their place is quite miserable. They come here to seek a stable life and to have enough food. They look quite pitiful." After hearing what the elder brother said, Bai Luo also found that the clothes these people were wearing were indeed quite tattered. It seemed that the place they came from must be quite miserable. It does look miserable. Otherwise, who would abandon their hometown and wander around? If there is any way, they will definitely not leave their hometown. Bai Luo chatted with the elder brother, but in his heart he was thinking, where are these people from? Why would the villagers run out to seek refuge in the war? Is there no one to take care of them? He wanted to know more, but he was afraid that if he deliberately asked, he would be suspected of something. So he thought of chatting with this village elder brother and getting some useful information. "Let's go in and have some tea. We can talk while we drink." Bai Luo took the villager brother to the first floor of the inn and asked for a pot of tea. Soon the tea was served. Bai Luo poured a cup for the villager brother, who was a little embarrassed. "Then I won't be polite. I'm really sorry to drink your tea." The villager brother smiled and took the tea handed over by Bai Luo and took a sip. The fragrance lingered in his mouth and he squinted his eyes comfortably. Why be polite? Anyway, we have nothing to do. Let's drink tea and chat. Bai Luo actually wanted to find out the details, but he was afraid that it would be bad to ask like this, so he chose to bring people in to drink tea and chat. The world is really not peaceful now. It's rare that we can still sit here and drink tea. Bai Luo sighed, and his eyes unconsciously looked through the window to the street. The villager brother naturally knew what Bai Luo meant, and he also sighed, thinking that what he said made sense. That's true. Compared to those people, we are now well fed and clothed, and we can drink tea and chat when we have nothing to do. It's like living a godly life. Where are they from? Is there a war there? Or some natural disaster or man-made disaster? Why haven't we heard anything about it? Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar publishes this novel for the first time. Bai Luo felt that the time was right, so he took the initiative to ask his question. The villager didn't doubt Bai Luo, but just frowned, and then spoke to Bai Luo. Haven't you heard about it yet? The voice was obviously much lower, and Bai Luo leaned his head over to make it easier to hear what the villager said. What did you hear? Bai Luo asked again, not knowing what the villager was talking about. I heard it too. I heard that the Red Flame tribe in the west joined forces with the northern tribe and prepared to plunder the city where they were. The villager said carefully and looked around to make sure that no one was paying attention to them, so he felt relieved. There is such a thing. Bai Luo was really shocked when he heard it. He didn't expect that such a thing really happened, and he didn't hear any news at all. If he hadn't woken up this morning and seen so many future populations and hadn't asked someone for information, he really didn't know when he would know such news. Why not? I heard it from others, and I thought it was incredible when I heard it, but it's true. The villagers were serious. Bai Luo didn't think he was deceiving himself, but believed what he said. So these people all fled? Can't they hide in a nearby place? Bai Luo thought about it. They were still quite far away. He didn't understand why these people came to such a far place and didn't choose to hide nearby. In this way, they can return to their hometowns when the war is over. Although their hometowns will definitely be in a mess by then, it is better than being far away from home now. There are no good places nearby. Who would come to such a far place if they can hide nearby? The villagers obviously had the same idea as Bai Luo. I heard that the nearby towns have all fallen, otherwise why would they come here? The villagers explained the reason. Bai Luo finally understood what was going on. No wonder so many people ran to such a far place to escape. He also felt that these people were quite pitiful. Chapter 680, Expedition Plan. You don't know, the people there are really pitiful. Not only are they invaded, but their local garrison is also very weak. I heard that they have basically no resistance. Not only that, but they also refuse to save people. This is simply outrageous behavior. As a garrison, shouldn't they fight to the death? Not only did they not fight to the death, they didn't even treat the wounded. How can there be such a garrison? The villager was filled with righteous indignation, and his voice was a little louder. After realizing it, he quickly looked around and continued to speak to Bai Luo in a low voice. When I heard about this, I was even angrier than I'm now. What I told you is what I heard, but it should be true. It is precisely because of this behavior that these villagers are very uncomfortable there. Now they can only run to a safe area. The villagers told Bai Luo everything they knew. I don't know if it was because Bai Luo invited him to drink tea, and Bai Luo didn't look like a bad person. The villagers also wanted to find someone to complain about this kind of thing. The garrison there is too inactive, isn't it? How could they do such a thing? Bai Luo thought that the garrison, where the refugees were located, was not worthy of being called garrison. How could they do such a thing? Not fighting hard, not even saving the injured. Is this something the garrison could do? Bai Luo didn't think so. He felt that they simply didn't deserve to be called garrison. Who said it wasn't? I think so too. They are still garrison. They really don't deserve it. The villagers and Bai Luo had the same idea. They all felt that these people simply didn't deserve to be garrison. Bai Luo thought about it for a long time and felt that this matter couldn't be let go. If it went on like this, not only would their city be destroyed, but they would definitely be displaced and homeless. If their city could be taken back, maybe they could return to their hometown. If no one dealt with this matter, there was no way to know what the fate of these refugees would be. Since he already knew about this, Bai Luo felt that he definitely couldn't pretend that he didn't know. He must take care of the matter. The important thing was how to take care of it. Such a big thing happened there, and no one is taking care of it. To be on the safe side, Bai Luo asked the villager first, in case someone took care of it, wouldn't he be redundant? Hearing Bai Luo say this, the villager shook his head. This kind of thing is inherently very dangerous, and it might be a thankless task. If it wasn't an order, who would take care of it? The villager said it lightly, but Bai Luo knew that no one would feel uncomfortable if no one took care of such a big thing. When the villager heard Bai Luo ask this, looking at Bai Luo's thoughtful expression, he always felt that Bai Luo must be hiding something from him. Do you have a way? The villager always felt intuitively that Bai Luo must have a way to solve this matter, but Bai Luo didn't say it, so she could only ask herself. Bai Luo just wanted to do this, but as for how to do it specifically, he didn't know yet. I just think that when something like this happens, it shouldn't be left unattended. Their homes have been invaded, and someone should seek justice for them. Speaking of this, Bai Luo remembered that maybe he could organize the nearby villagers to see if anyone would follow him to fight those people. As long as there are enough people, they will definitely be able to deal with them. Bai Luo didn't think this was a very dangerous thing. He felt that someone should stand up for such a thing that is within their ability. I've decided. I'm going to hold high the banner and call on people to fight. After thinking it over, Bai Luo finally made such a decision and decided to gather people to fight those people. The villagers were also very excited when they heard it. He didn't expect Bai Luo to be such a thoughtful person and immediately decided to support him. Okay, I'll be the first to join and support you. As the first person to be summoned, the villager joined Bai Luo's team. In this way, the two of them came to the street after discussing and prepared to summon more people to attack those people. At the same time, Bai Luo also found that everyone's enthusiasm was really high, which also made him quite shocked and happy. The next morning, Bai Luo was awakened by the noise outside. He thought he could sleep well today, but who would have thought that there would be a noise outside early in the morning? Bai Luo, who didn't know the situation, was awakened and looked at it. It was already dawn, so he got dressed and got up. I don't know what the noise outside is. Anyway, I have already got up. With doubts, Bai Luo was going to go out and see, just hoping that it's not a big deal. When Bai Luo just woke up, he was still wondering if he was dreaming. In fact, there was no sound of quarreling, but when Bai Luo really woke up and packed himself up, he could still hear a commotion outside the inn, which made him more certain of the correctness of his actions. Without wasting any more time, Bai Luo hurried out and came to the outside of the inn to check the situation. A lot of villagers gathered outside the inn. It was unknown what they were discussing. Anyway, it seemed that everyone was very excited. Bai Luo found a few of them and prepared to ask them. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. What's going on? Why are you all gathered here? Did something happen? I see so many people here. It seems they are discussing something. Bai Luo looked at the people in front of him and asked one of the people around him, wondering if he could get an answer. When the people saw that it was Bai Luo who came out, they quickly answered the questions that Bai Luo had just asked them. Brother Bai, you are finally here. You don't know that someone has made a lot of weapons recently. Everyone here is discussing this matter. Now that you are here, tell us about this matter. What should we do? As soon as the people saw that it was Bai Luo who came, they felt that they must let Bai Luo know about this matter. Only in this way, Bai Luo could help them solve the problem. Otherwise, with so many people here, there would be no solution. Moreover, it was unknown what kind of impact such a gathering of people would bring. Hearing what the people said, Bai Luo frowned, and his face obviously turned ugly. He didn't expect that someone would actually do this. Doing such a thing in this situation, isn't it obviously sending information to the enemy? At a time like this, they should be most cautious, but how could there be someone who didn't know this and did such a thing in a high-profile manner? It can't be like this. Bai Luo had only this one thought in his mind. He felt that these people must be stopped and not allowed to destroy the plan and disrupt the order. Everyone listen to me. Bai Luo tried to speak louder, hoping that everyone would stop discussing and listen to his analysis of the matter. When they heard Bai Luo speak, everyone looked over. Some people who were originally impatient stopped talking when they saw that it was Bai Luo who was speaking, staring at Bai Luo, waiting for him to speak, not knowing what he wanted to say. We can't collect weapons in such a high profile manner. There is a reason why I didn't do so. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 681, The Inverted Biological Clock. When saying these words, Bai Luo was a little helpless. He really didn't expect someone to do such a stupid thing, but it had already happened, and he could only try his best to solve it. Why? What's the reason? Yes, isn't this a good thing? Why can't we do it? Sure enough, there were still some people who didn't understand these things. After hearing what Bai Luo said, they were full of doubts. Bai Luo waved his hand, signaling everyone to be quiet and listen to him continue. If the spies sent by the enemy see us collecting weapons in such a high profile manner, they will definitely report this situation to the enemy commander. Wouldn't that make us passive? Sure enough, they still didn't understand these things. Bai Luo was sure in his heart, but after all, they were villagers, and it was normal for them not to understand these things. As long as he corrected them, they would understand. After hearing Bai Luo's explanation, the villagers stopped discussing it, and seemed to realize the seriousness of the matter, and knew that they had done something wrong. Duo 2 on the side didn't know what to say. Bai Luo's words made sense. What they said might eventually bring hidden dangers, but the thing had already been done, and he didn't know if it was seen by the enemy's spies. But quite a few people have already done this. What should we do? When the villagers heard Bai Luo say this, they also began to worry. After all, according to what they knew, quite a few people had already done this, and they didn't know if they had been seen by the enemy. Realizing that they might have done something wrong, all the villagers began to lower their heads, not saying a word, waiting for Bai Luo to solve the matter. Duo 2 was quite helpless to see their reactions. He knew that they all had good intentions. Now that they knew the specific situation, they must be feeling guilty, otherwise they wouldn't react like this now. Don't worry, I'm not blaming you. I know that everyone has good intentions and is thinking about me and the overall situation. In this situation, we must be extremely careful and cannot make the slightest mistake, otherwise we don't know what the consequences will be. Bai Luo did not blame the villagers. He knew what they meant and that they all had good intentions. Don't worry, I will find someone to solve the problem. No matter whether the enemy has heard of this news or not, as long as we don't do it next, they won't be able to figure out our actual situation or our thoughts. Bai Luo still comforted the villagers like this. He just felt helpless just now, and he didn't mean to blame them, nor did he want them to have any prejudice against him because of this matter. But if we don't do this, what should we do? Will the enemy take advantage of the situation? One of the villagers was still worried about this problem and asked Bai Luo, wondering if Bai Luo was sure about this matter. Since this question was asked, all the villagers looked up and stared at Bai Luo, wondering if Bai Luo had thought about this question. This was also what they were most concerned about. Bai Luo knew that everyone was concerned about this matter, and the helpless expression on his face when he heard about this matter just now finally disappeared, revealing a smile, and then answered the villagers. Don't worry, everyone. I have been paying attention to the situation. I will definitely not ignore this matter, let alone slack off. After my observation, I found that it has been fine recently. There is no new situation on the enemy side. I guess they want to see what we are planning, so both sides are relatively stable now. Bai Luo analyzed the situation he knew recently to the villagers, hoping that they can rest assured and stop doing these things. Hearing Bai Luo say this, the villagers are relieved. They all believe that Bai Luo will definitely not deceive them, and what he said is absolutely true. Don't act rashly recently. Now is the most cautious time. The enemy does not move, and we will not do anything to confuse them. Bai Luo was worried that the people would do the same thing as before, so he did not forget to remind them. When the villagers heard Bai Luo say this, they all nodded and agreed, and decided to do as Bai Luo said. What about daily activities? Some of the villagers didn't know what Bai Luo meant by not acting rashly. Was it to not let them get weapons, or was it not allowed in daily activities? Bai Luo really didn't think so much. Originally, he told everyone not to act rashly because he wanted everyone not to do things that might be discovered by enemy spies. After being reminded by the villagers, Bai Luo really thought about this problem. In addition to these things, what about other things? Should they live a normal life, or what? Bai Luo fell into deep thought. If they live a normal life, then it shouldn't matter what the villagers do, but won't the enemy get any information? What if they don't live a normal life, and rest during the day, and go out to prepare for activities at night? Bai Luo began to think about the possibility of doing so. He thought of two advantages of doing so. One is that it is dark at night. Even if someone really wants to find out the news, they certainly can't find out at night. Another point is that there are more patrols at night, which is safer. After thinking about it, Bai Luo felt that it should be much safer to prepare for activities at night, so he decided to let everyone do this. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. In this way, everyone rests during the day and goes out to prepare for activities at night. Bai Luo told everyone this idea and then explained it to everyone. Letting everyone do this is also for safety reasons. In addition to these, if you have any opinions or suggestions, you can speak up. Bai Luo didn't know if there was anything he hadn't thought of. There is strength in numbers. If everyone thinks of something, tell him so that he can make some improvements. Okay, let's do it as Brother Bai said. Yes, what Brother Bai said makes sense. Let's do it. It shouldn't be a big deal for now, Brother Bai. We will definitely tell you when we think of it. The villagers still trusted Bai Luo very much, thinking that what Bai Luo said made sense, and they should listen to Bai Luo's advice. What do you think? Bai Luo nodded and whispered to Mondodota's opinion, wondering what the two of them thought. Mondodota nodded in agreement. They really thought that Bai Luo's proposal was very good, and they also thought that Bai Luo's method was the best method at present. In this way, Bai Luo was relieved. After all, they all thought that this was a good method, so his work was not in vain. As long as it is a method that is useful to everyone, it is a good method. Since it has been decided to do this, the villagers have spontaneously dispersed. They all gathered here, which has a bad influence, and everyone is very conscious. Brother Bai, let's go in too. It's windy outside, and your body hasn't fully recovered yet. Be careful not to catch a cold. Duo 2 reminded Bai Luo that they should go back quickly. Chapter 682 Going to Purchase. They all knew that Bai Luo's body was still in the recovery period, so he should be more careful and not make any mistakes. Otherwise, it would not be so simple to fall ill again. If Duo 2 hadn't said anything, Bai Luo would not have felt anything. After Duo 2 said that, Bai Luo realized that his body was really much better than before. Now that you said that, I realize that my body seems to be much better than the past few days. Bai Luo told Mondo and Duo 2 the good news. Bai Luo was very happy that his body was much better. At least he didn't have to worry about not being able to recover in a short time. Really? That's great. I said that Brother Bai would definitely recover soon. Mondo clenched his fists excitedly, as if he was the one who recovered. Then I'll tell them to make more soup today, so that Brother Bai can drink more, so that his body can recover faster. Duo 2 turned around and went to the kitchen without saying a word. During this period of time, they tried every possible way for Bai Luo's health, just to make Bai Luo recover as soon as possible. Now that Bai Luo's health has finally improved, the two of them are happier than Bai Luo. Bai Luo smiled helplessly when he saw the reactions of the two people. He felt that they were really worried about his recovery, and he felt embarrassed about it. But he knew in his heart that his recovery was the greatest reward for them. After breakfast, Bai Luo sat on the first floor of the inn to bask in the sun. He heard a few people chatting nearby, talking about something like elixir. Haven't you heard about it yet? It is said that there are a lot of elixirs in that place, and there seems to be some storage rings. I wonder if it is true. That kind of place would be very dangerous, right? Do you know where it is? How can I not know? It's just. Bai Luo relied on his super hearing to hear the place they were talking about. He didn't know if this was a trick, but he still wanted to go over and take a look. Back in the room, Bai Luo told his idea to Meng Duo too. Both of them opposed Bai Luo's action. No, brother Bai, it's too dangerous to do this. Yeah, we don't even know where it is. Isn't it too dangerous to go there at such a risk? Both of them opposed it. Bai Luo was not in a hurry and told them the purpose of his visit, but they still opposed it. After all, Bai Luo's body had not fully recovered. I know my own body very well. Don't worry, I will definitely take good care of myself. Actually, I understand your concerns, but what those people said doesn't sound fake. If there are really elixirs and storage rings, then we will win. Bai Luo was just unwilling to accept it. He felt that he should go and see what he heard. What if it was true? Mondodoto also knew what kind of temper Bai Luo had. If they didn't disagree, Bai Luo would not go. He would definitely go regardless of opposition. Then we will go with you, brother Bai. In the end, the two compromised. Since Bai Luo wanted to go, wouldn't it be better for them to go with Bai Luo? This way, they could also protect Bai Luo. Who would have thought that Bai Luo refused, which was something Mondodoto didn't expect. You two should stay in a safe place around the inn. I'm still not sure about this place. Bai Luo decided to let Mondodoto maintain safety here. What about you, brother Bai? You can't go alone. We are not sure about it either. Mondo was anxious. Bai Luo was not sure about this place, and they were not sure about Bai Luo's safety either. They would definitely not let Bai Luo go alone. I'm going to let Ursu and Azhuang go with me. Bai Luo had already thought about it. What he was most worried about was the safety around the inn, so he decided to let Meng Duo stay to maintain the safety here. As for himself, Bai Luo knew his situation. He felt that it was enough to have Dazhuang and Ursu with him, so he made such a decision. Since Bai Luo had made up his mind, Meng Duo knew that no matter how much they resisted, it would be useless. Bai Luo would not change because of them, so he could only agree with Bai Luo's approach. Then brother Bai, you must pay attention to safety. We are here, and you are the only one left. You must pay attention to safety. Duo 2 was still not at ease. Meng Duo also began to remind Bai Luo to pay attention to safety. Don't worry, I will definitely pay attention to safety. You call Ursu and Azhuang over, and we will set off in a while. Bai Luo asked Meng Duo to call Dazhuang and Ursu over. Not long after, Meng Duo came with the two people. The two only heard that Bai Luo had something to do with them. After they came, they realized that Bai Luo was going to take them out. Great, brother Bai, is that true? When are we leaving? Do we need to pack up? Are we leaving now? Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK bar released this novel for the first time. Ursu Dazhuang asked Bai Luo excitedly, but was interrupted by Bai Luo before he could speak. It is true that we will leave in a while, but you don't have to worry. You don't have to prepare anything. We can just set off directly. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he began to prepare to set off. Meng Duo too, who was standing by, couldn't stand it anymore, and took the initiative to come out and tell the two of them. You two must be smarter when you follow brother Bai. Pay more attention to safety, and don't just watch the fun. Duo 2 still didn't understand why Bai Luo didn't take them with him, even if he only took one of them. But Bai Luo couldn't change what he decided, so he could only give these two more instructions, hoping that they would listen. They really listened. Ursu Dazhuang nodded frequently, indicating that they had listened and would definitely pay attention to safety and would not let brother Bai get hurt. Standing at the door of the inn, Meng Duo watched Bai Luo and Ursu Dazhuang leave. Along the way, Ursu and Dazhuang really followed the instructions and paid attention to the safety of the surroundings. Not long after, the three of them arrived at the legendary area. Brother Bai, why don't we go anymore? Are we there? Seeing Bai Luo stopped, Ursu asked Bai Luo in confusion, looking ahead, not knowing whether he had arrived. Bai Luo nodded, pointed to the front and said, yes, the area ahead is that area. The three of them continued to walk for a while, and Bai Luo was sure that they had arrived at that area. Bai Luo originally found that this place should be deserted, but in reality, it was full of people, and even there were many merchants. What's going on? Why are there so many people? Bai Luo looked at the people and merchants in front of him in confusion, talking to himself, wondering if he had come to the wrong place. Brother Bai, we are not out here to buy things, are we? Looking at the various things sold by so many merchants in front of him, Daoist thought that Bai Luo was taking them out to buy things. Erzu hit Daoist's arm. When he saw Bai Luo frowning, he knew that things would not be that simple. Maybe something went wrong. Chapter 683, The Fortune Teller's Reminder. Don't talk. Didn't you see that Brother Bai is thinking about something? Be careful to get beaten. Erzu reminded Daoist. Daoist then noticed that Bai Luo was indeed thinking about something and quickly shut up. Bai Luo was immersed in his own doubts, wondering what went wrong or if he came to the wrong place. He decided to find someone to ask, wondering if he could figure out what was going on. Bai Luo didn't hear or pay attention to the jokes that Daoist and Erzu had just made. He went straight to the nearest merchant and prepared to solve his doubts. Hello, big brother. I want to ask, have you always been selling things around here? Bai Luo wanted to know if they had always been here or if they had only been open for a short time. Yes, they have always been here. What's wrong? After getting a positive answer, Bai Luo became even more confused. They have always been here, so could what he heard be false? Then have you heard about the existence of elixirs and storage rings here? Bai Luo asked directly. If they had heard about it and were still here, then it meant that he had not come to the wrong place. Hearing Bai Luo say this, it was the merchant who frowned this time. He really had never heard of what Bai Luo said. It was the first time he had heard of it after being here for so long. I haven't heard of it. Did you come to the wrong place? We have been here all the time and have never heard of this kind of thing. The merchant explained to Bai Luo. Bai Luo was not discouraged by what he said. He was still comforting himself in his heart. Maybe it was just this person who hadn't heard of it, and others hadn't heard of it either. After leaving the merchant just now, Bai Luo came to another merchant and asked the same question to another merchant, but the answer he got was the same. I really haven't heard of it. I don't know what you are talking about. Why don't you ask others? Bai Luo asked a few more people in disbelief, but without exception, the answers he got were the same. Many people had never heard of the things mentioned above. Bai Luo was even more confused. How could this be? Brother Bai, did we come to the wrong place? Erzu thought of this question. But Bai Luo had already confirmed, after getting a negative answer the first time. This was the place he was looking for. Yes, but why didn't so many people hear of the things he was talking about? With doubts, Bai Luo thought of opening his spiritual sense to see if these people were cultivators, so that he would know why they said so. Thinking of this method, Bai Luo quickly adopted this method, opening his spiritual sense to see these people, and indeed Bai Luo discovered a problem. That is, these people are not cultivators. No wonder these people have never heard of the things he said. So that's it. Bai Luo understood and was quite disappointed. He didn't expect it to be such a result. What's wrong, Brother Bai? Seeing Bai Luo's reaction, Erzu Daoist, who didn't know what was going on, hurriedly asked Bai Luo, wanting to know what was going on. It's okay, I just asked so many people, and they all said they had never heard of the elixir and storage ring here. I don't know why this happened. I checked by opening my spiritual sense, and it turned out that these people were not cultivators, so they had never heard of it. Bai Luo explained his performance just now. Then what should we do, Brother Bai? Did we come here for nothing? Erzu could see that Bai Luo's current state should be quite disappointed. After a lot of effort, the result was such a result. Anyone might be disappointed. It's okay. If that's the case, let's go back first. It's a waste of time here, otherwise it won't solve any problems. Bai Luo just felt a little disappointed at the time. After the disappointment, he still had to solve this matter. He couldn't take the two people here all the time. Wouldn't that be a waste of time? Although Ursu and Azhyang didn't want to leave like this, Bai Luo couldn't do anything about it. What else could they do? They could only obey Bai Luo and leave here first. When Bai Luo said he was going to leave, he clearly saw the reluctant eyes of the two. After a guess, he knew that they must be a little unwilling, because they didn't find those things. Okay, I know what you are thinking. Don't think too much. It's okay. There will be opportunities in the future. It won't be too late to come back after we figure it out. In order to prevent Dazhyang and Ursu from being in this mood all the time, Bai Luo explained. Hearing Bai Luo say this, the two were happier. They felt that what Bai Luo said made sense. It was a waste of time to stay here. It would be better to go back first. Okay, then listen to Brother Bai and go back first. The three were ready to go back, but before they walked far, they were blocked by a fortune teller. Who are you, and why are you blocking our way? Ursu stood up and questioned the man who blocked his way. He looked at him and remained alert. He always remembered Mondodotu's instructions to be alert and safe when going out. Now this man looked very unsafe. The fortune teller touched his beard and did not answer Ursu's question. He kept looking at Bai Luo for a while. When Ursu was about to speak again, the fortune teller spoke. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel. I just told you a fortune. Don't you want to hear what your fortune is? The fortune teller tempted Bai Luo. He thought Bai Luo would be interested in what he said. But he didn't expect Bai Luo to ignore him. We don't need it. Get out of the way. We are leaving. Dazhyang also stood up and blocked Bai Luo, staring at the fortune teller in front of him. Bai Luo ignored this man's behavior. He never believed in fortune telling, let alone what this man said. Since the master doesn't say anything, I won't hide it. I'll just say it straight. The fortune teller I told you today shows that you will have a bloody disaster. The fortune teller kept staring at Bai Luo, wanting to see if Bai Luo would come over and ask him to say more and help him explain something after hearing what he said. But he didn't. After listening to him, Bai Luo had some reaction, but it was not a reaction of believing him. Instead, his eyes were full of disdain and ridicule. Bloody disaster? Can't you do something else with this time? Why do you have to lie here? You want to lie, but find someone else to lie to next time. I won't be fooled. Bloody disaster? Tell me, what bloody disaster do I have? Bai Luo questioned the fortune teller. His face and tone were full of ridicule, without a shadow of belief. Hearing what Bai Luo said, the fortune teller was not angry, nor did he argue with Bai Luo. Instead, he smiled. You can still laugh at this time. If I were you, you should wake up and learn something else. Lying is not a serious thing. Chapter 684, Ghost Market. After saying that, Bai Luo didn't want to waste time and wanted to leave here directly. Excuse me, sir, are you looking for something special? The fortune teller looked at Bai Luo's back as he was about to leave and asked Bai Luo directly. He knew that if he said that, Bai Luo would definitely be interested in him. Sure enough, when he heard the fortune teller say that, Bai Luo immediately turned around and looked at the fortune teller. His face was full of astonishment. He really didn't expect the fortune teller to know this. Since the fortune teller can say such a thing, does it mean that he knows something? Bai Luo thought so in his heart. Realizing this, Bai Luo felt that his guess might be correct. The fortune teller must know something. Without saying anything, he quickly stepped forward and took the fortune teller's hand and left here and came to a corner. Seeing the huge contrast between Bai Luo and the past, Ursu Dazhyang was also a little shocked, but Bai Luo had already left here, so they quickly followed Bai Luo and left here and came to where Bai Luo was. You just said that I want to find something special. Do you know something? Bai Luo guessed that the fortune teller must know something and asked him quickly. The fortune teller saw Bai Luo's reaction and knew that his guess was correct. Bai Luo really came to ask him questions. As for what Bai Luo said to him just now, the fortune teller was not going to argue with Bai Luo. Seeing Bai Luo's anxious look, he directly answered Bai Luo's question. I don't know where the things you are looking for are, but I know there is a place called Ghost Market. The things you are looking for may be there. No, it's not possible. I think the things you are looking for will definitely be there. The fortune teller said it with certainty and a firm tone, making Bai Luo feel that he should believe him. How can you be so sure? Are you deceiving us? Dao Zuan always felt that this person was not trustworthy. When he heard him say that, he felt that this person was deceiving them. Believe it or not, you can go and see for yourself. There is no need for me to deceive you. It will not benefit me, the fortune teller explained to Dao Zuan. After listening to it, Dao Zuan felt that what he said made sense. It really did not benefit him to deceive them. Bai Luo didn't think the fortune teller would deceive them. He thought he could give it a try. Maybe it was really like what the fortune teller said, and there was really what he needed in it. Where is the ghost market you mentioned? I want to go and see. Bai Luo has decided to go and see. If he is deceiving them, he will know after going and seeing. Ersu and Azhuang also think they should go and see. It doesn't sound like a dangerous place. They will know if it is there after going and seeing. There is no way now. That place will only appear between 1 and 3 in the morning. The fortune teller explained the time when the place will appear. He seemed to know a lot about the place and knew everything. Bai Luo believed what he said even more. So magical? There is a time limit? Hearing what the fortune teller said, Daoist and Ersu also thought this was quite magical. They didn't expect there was a time limit. It will appear at the time it is said. It doesn't matter. The main thing is how can we get in? Bai Luo wondered how they should get in. As for when and what time they can get in, he was not curious at all. It is normal for such a magical place to have its own rules. Bai Luo didn't think it was strange. When the time comes, a portal will appear and you can enter directly. The fortune teller answered Bai Luo's question and he finished what he said. So that's how it was. Bai Luo understood everything and decided to wait until 1 in the morning. He must go in and see if it was really possible to know at that time. Bai Luo took out some gold coins and gave them to the fortune teller to express his gratitude. Thank you for telling us this. Then Bai Luo took the two people to find a temporary manor to rest, waiting for the early morning to go to the ghost market together. The next morning, Bai Luo was still waiting in the manor, thinking of what the fortune teller said before. At first, he still didn't believe it. After all, it was hearsay. He thought that, since he had already given the gold coins, he couldn't waste them in vain. So he simply accepted it and thought about trying his luck. After Bai Luo made the decision, he subconsciously looked in the direction of Ersu and Azhuang, knowing that there must be some things he was not used to when he brought them this time. He had not thought of doing this originally, but the current situation did not allow him to bring Mondo and Duo too, so he chose this. When Bai Luo was thinking about it, his mind was filled with the words of the fortune teller, so naturally he didn't hear the voices of other people coming into his ears. Brother Bai, how long do we need to wait here? Brother Bai? Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. When he reacted to the repeated shouts, he felt the gazes of the two of them, and his face quickly showed an uncomfortable expression. Bai Luo couldn't help coughing a few times, looking in their direction, listening to their questions. He could naturally know what they were thinking. Don't worry, we'll observe here first. In order not to make them worry, although Ersu was able to chop the beast with a machete before, this was the first time he had faced such a thing. Bai Luo was afraid that the ghost market was not as simple as he thought. If he didn't observe it carefully, he would not only have no response measures when something happened, but also worry about their safety. After he finished speaking, he looked in their direction. He thought it would be the same as before, but he found that they all nodded quietly without saying anything. Facing such a situation, Bai Luo didn't think much, just thought it might be a subconscious reaction, and continued to observe the situation around him. Bang, bang, bang. Just when they were all thinking about their own things, they suddenly heard a loud noise, and the sound was very rhythmic. Bai Luo and the two people around him became alert when they heard this, and even frowned, which showed the seriousness of the matter. They began to observe. Such an unusual sound could not be formed in a natural environment. It was very likely that something had happened. Bai Luo was facing such a situation now. He had no other energy to find the source of the sound. He could only rely on the environment around him, and his heart became nervous. What's that sound? The two people around him were also startled by the loud noise, but it was only a moment, and they quickly returned to their normal expressions and spoke out subconsciously. Chapter 685, Mysterious Aura. Don't worry, it's okay. Bai Luo responded after hearing their voices, with a hint of comfort in his tone, as if he was soothing the moods of several people. Just when he was about to do something, he suddenly heard a reminder from the system, which made him a little shocked, and soon returned to normal. Bai Luo did not expect the system to appear at this time, so he did not make any sound, and listened to what he said next. He listened carefully to the system's requirements, and began to hesitate. Looking at the two men around him, he was reluctant at first, but there was nothing he could do. Bai Luo thought of what the system had said just now, that a great god might appear around, which made him a little speechless, guessing that the loud noise just now might be related to this. He still didn't know the specific reason, but he just thought it was related, otherwise such a thing would not appear so coincidentally, and his brows furrowed. However, Bai Luo thought that the appearance of the great god had nothing to do with him, so he did not have any intention of taking any action, and continued to observe. He did not take this matter to heart, thinking that it would be over in a while, but he did not expect the system's voice to sound again. Don't forget to go and have a look. I see. I really don't know what kind of great god this is. The system was silent after it finished speaking, leaving Bai Luo alone in the wind, his mind full of the system's words just now, thinking that such instructions are rare in normal times. Bai Luo thought about these things secretly in his heart. At first, he didn't take it seriously, but now seeing the importance of the system, he couldn't help but become curious. He thought that, since it was the one that the system called a great god, it was worth going to see, so he agreed to this matter, and prepared to open his eyes. I'll take you there to have a look, follow me closely. Bai Luo was ready, and was ready to set off in the direction just said by the system. Before leaving, he said to the two people behind him earnestly, Ersu and Azhuang knew Bai Luo's ability, otherwise he would not be the candidate for the mayor in their hearts, and they still trusted him. In this way, several people walked in the direction just now, but according to what the system said, they did not find the legendary great god, but they did make some new discoveries. When they were there at the beginning, they didn't know this place at all. Now after coming here, they found that they are two completely different places, and the gap is still very large. There really is a mysterious aura. Bai Luo felt some mysterious aura here, and guessed what the system had just said, and couldn't help but talk to himself. After he finished speaking, he quickly walked a few steps closer, and felt that the aura was even stronger, which made him frown and look puzzled. Bai Luo didn't say anything else. Ersu and Azhuang didn't feel much, and just followed behind him. Just when they all found something here, the surroundings changed, and Bai Luo and them suddenly felt something different. Bai Luo quickly observed the surroundings, thinking that it was all ordinary when he came here just now, and now there are many phantoms, as if there is something induction. He observed the existence of these phantoms, and curled his lips helplessly. Naturally, there was nothing more attractive to him, and he had seen these before. Brother Bai, what does this mean? No fun. Ersu and Azhuang also looked at it intently, feeling that the phantoms seemed to wrap them tightly together, and there was no other abnormal behavior. However, they were still full of doubts about these things in their hearts, so they looked in the direction of Bai Luo, and found that he had a calm face. Bai Luo's answer was still very simple. Faced with such a situation, he really couldn't think of the purpose of the system doing this, so he couldn't help but complain in his heart. Did they come here to see the scenery? Where is the great god? He couldn't help but doubt it now. After all, from the beginning, when the system said it was interested in the great god, so it did this. Bai Luo listened to what the system said, and found that there was no great god at all. There were only these phantoms and mysterious auras around. He thought that it would be better to leave directly, guessing that the system might be deceiving him, and he couldn't find any evidence. Bai Luo actually felt a little angry, but fortunately he didn't make any big moves. When he was about to leave, he heard Ersu's questioning voice. Brother Bai, are we leaving? But there is still a mysterious power here. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. He listened to Urzu's voice and saw the desire in their eyes. He also understood their reaction and thought it was normal. After Urzu finished speaking, he looked at Daoist and then looked in Bai Luo's direction, trying to persuade him in this way. But what they didn't expect was that Bai Luo was not particularly enthusiastic about such things, so he came to them anxiously. He didn't understand the current situation. As long as a person has an idea in his mind, it is difficult to change his own ideas. Bai Luo is like this now. There is no point here now, let's go. Bai Luo saw that the matter had not been settled yet, and he didn't intend to tell them the specific reasons. He simply responded and prepared to take them away. After he finished speaking, he looked in their direction. Fortunately, they all had good eyesight, nodded in agreement, and followed him. Just when Bai Luo was about to use other methods, he heard the sound of the system rang, and even shook his ears a little painfully. Wait a little longer. Don't leave now. The great god will appear. Bai Luo could also hear the anxiety of the system, but the current situation did not seem like he would obey them at all, so he shook his head helplessly. He even felt a splitting headache because of this, and he didn't know what to do. Even if he wanted to resist, it would not go as he thought. After a long ideological struggle, Bai Luo finally agreed. He was worried that the scene just now would happen again, so he couldn't help asking, "How long will it take?" After he finished speaking, he waited for the system's response. Unexpectedly, the surroundings began to become quiet. Thinking that the system was silent at this time, he couldn't help but roll his eyes. Yu Feng didn't think it was his fault, but in the end, in order to make him feel better, he compromised directly and didn't argue about this matter anymore. Chapter 686. The Guardian God arrives again. He was worried that the great god mentioned by the system would not come for a while, so they would become idle, so he sat down on the ground. Urzu and Daoist saw this situation and were obviously not able to react. When they were about to ask, they saw Bai Luo's tense expression. The words on their lips were finally not spoken, and they swallowed them directly into their stomachs. They also sat down beside him, knowing that he might have his own ideas. Bai Luo supported his head with both hands and gradually began to become drowsy. When he was about to fall asleep, he heard a voice calling, "Bai Luo, Bai Luo, Brother Bai, someone is calling you." Before he had time to open his eyes, he felt a gentle power coming from his body. When he opened his eyes, he saw the anxious expressions of Urzu and Daoist. Bai Luo looked towards the source of the voice without any hesitation and found that it was the guardian god who had saved him before, so he hurried to meet him. He thought of the past when the guardian god was by his side. No matter what happened, he could not do without his help, so he was full of gratitude for him. Bai Luo is not a person without principles, nor is he a person who does not know how to repay kindness. Seeing his figure in such a situation, he felt more intimate. Daoist and Zhu saw his excited expression and looked at each other, thinking that they had never seen this side of him before. They also looked over. They looked at the old man in front of them with great respect, thinking that the relationship between them was not that simple, so they simply did not disturb him too much. The guardian god saw everything just now, and seeing Bai Luo's excitement, he also smiled in his direction. "Why are you here?" Bai Luo looked at the guardian god, and the whole person was very happy. He couldn't help but look in his direction and asked, and then stared at his direction. He observed the surrounding environment and didn't find any suspicious people. Besides, the system didn't send any signals at this time, so he understood it. Bai Luo didn't expect that the great god the system was talking about was the guardian god. Now thinking about it, he can indeed live up to this reputation, and he is even happier. His little action was noticed by the guardian god, whose mouth corners could not help but rise. He did not respond to the question quickly, but spoke to himself. "What? Are you worried about me being here? No way." The guardian god thought of his alert look just now, and thought that something important had happened. He looked at Bai Luo with a thoughtful expression. After he finished speaking, he saw that Bai Luo had completely come back to his senses and responded to what he had just said. The guardian god did not embarrass him too much because of this topic. Seeing that he was safe and sound, he felt relieved. After all, he was still very worried just now. By the way, you haven't said it yet. I was going to say that I came to see you on purpose. Bai Luo felt the silence around him, and his inner curiosity drove him to ask again, and looked at the guardian god with his sincere face. The guardian god looked at his anxious look, and did not delve into the matter too much, and just jokingly said what he was thinking. Bai Luo listened to what he said, and smiled and shook his head, thinking back to the past, when the guardian god appeared under special circumstances. The current argument could not convince him. Bai Luo felt the gaze of the guardian god, and subconsciously looked in his direction, and found that his eyes were narrowed, which was very funny. He thought about what the guardian god said just now, combined with what he saw now. He didn't believe this matter even more, so he responded on his own. I don't believe what you said. I was right about you. Bai Luo directly said what he was thinking, and looked at his direction with an expression that didn't turn away, trying to make him admit it in this way. What he didn't expect was that the guardian god responded to what he said just now quickly, and he couldn't help laughing. The two of them agreed with each other tacitly. Bai Luo guessed that the guardian god must have something important to do when he came here this time. After all, every time he came here, he could give him a lot of help. He thought that this time would not be an exception, so he was even more curious about the purpose of his coming here this time, and maybe he didn't need to continue looking for clues. Bai Luo thought it was good in his heart, and when he was about to continue to interrogate in his own way, he felt that the guardian god was getting closer. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR published this novel for the first time. Facing the sudden action, he was still a little unresponsive, and only heard the guardian's earnest voice. I was just passing by here, and I didn't expect it to be more complicated than I thought. Bai Luo listened to the guardian's voice, and noticed that the expression on his face was no longer relaxed, but became serious. He knew that the guardian was going to talk to him about serious matters, so he became serious. The guardian didn't wait for Bai Luo's reaction. Thinking of what he felt when he came here just now, he guessed that according to Bai Luo's current situation, it would be difficult to deal with it. He thought that, since he had such a good opportunity now, he couldn't give up easily, so he took this opportunity to explain the matter clearly. The guardian looked at Bai Luo's contemplative look, guessing that it might be related to what he just said, so he patted his shoulder. He felt Bai Luo's action, but didn't pay too much attention, so he quickly told him what he knew, so that he could minimize the danger for them. I felt that there was a lot of murderous aura here, and I came here to check it out, because I was worried. Did you notice it? The guardian god said all the thoughts in his mind, and then waited for Bai Luo's response. After all, such things can be detected. He guessed that according to Bai Luo's ability, he should have also detected the mysterious aura. If combined with his statement, it can further verify this matter. Bai Luo listened to the guardian god's voice, and something suddenly came to his mind. So he nodded in the direction of the guardian god, and explained the situation just now. He still knew the guardian god's personality, and now that it has come to this point, there is no reason to doubt it. Instead, he was a little excited. It's like this, Bai Luo told the whole story, and waited for the guardian god's response. But what he didn't realize was that after what they just said, his brows had already frowned. Chapter 687, Unknown Creatures. His expression was solemn, and his body was tense, which made the hand of the guardian on his shoulder feel it immediately. The guardian saw the worry in his heart. Thinking of what he had just noticed, he knew that this place was a place of trouble. If there was no special mission, he would still want them to leave. He looked at Bai Luo with his head down, not knowing what he was thinking. He knew that it still had a certain impact on him, so he simply spoke a comforting voice between the two of them. Don't worry too much about this matter, take this. While talking to Bai Luo, the guardian took out a lot of talismans from his arms, and put them in Bai Luo's hands, and patted them heavily in an instant. He thought that these things could get them out of danger, and the rest could only rely on themselves. After all, there was only so much they could do. Bai Luo felt the touch of his hand and quickly looked down. The bright font reflected in his pupils, making the corners of his mouth twitch. But it was only a matter of a moment, and he returned to normal, thinking that he must be able to use it, otherwise he would not give it to him. Bai Luo nodded in the direction of the guardian god, then put the talisman in his arms and carefully protected it. Remember, these must be posted, and don't go out during the day. When he was thinking about what to say, he heard the voice of the guardian god's admonition again, with a serious look, which made him have to take it seriously. Bai Luo knew that the guardian god did this for his own good, so he didn't ask for the specific reason, but nodded heavily and said firmly, "I know, don't worry." The guardian god got his assurance, and didn't waste any more time. Thinking that the things he should explain had been completed, he prepared to leave. Before leaving, he couldn't help but turn his head to look in his direction, and then he left quickly, and the surroundings became quiet all of a sudden. When the figure of the guardian god was completely invisible, Bai Luo slowly came back to his senses, and there was still warmth in the palm of his hand, and his eyes became bright and dim. "Okay, let's go now." Bai Luo subconsciously looked in the direction of the two of them, and found that he still didn't come back to his senses for a long time, so he directly said what happened next. He observed the sky and couldn't help but speed up his pace. He wanted to settle down quickly without delaying too much. Ursu and Ashuan heard what he said, and hurried to follow him. Thinking of the scene they just saw, they still couldn't accept it. Bai Luo didn't know what they really thought, so he thought about the guardian god and what he said, and knew that something bad would definitely happen here. He was curious in his heart, thinking that his sleep tonight could not be guaranteed, so he had to be vigilant at all times, for fear of other accidents. Moreover, Bai Luo saw that Ursu and Ashuan were now by his side, and he couldn't compare with when he was alone, so he simply had to do this better. He subconsciously took out the talisman that the guardian god had given him just now, looked at the number, nodded with satisfaction, and continued to carefully put it away. Bai Luo took the two of them back to the manor again, because what happened today had made Bai Luo exhausted. He knew that the current situation was unpredictable, but he was still a little worried. After all, he had never experienced such a thing before, and was a little overwhelmed. Bai Luo returned to the room. Because of what the guardian angel said today, he put the three of them in a room, and began to set up. He thought about the guardian angel's instructions, and saw that the sky was gradually getting dark. He simply put up the talismans, to avoid being too late. Bai Luo guessed that something else might happen at night, so he began to wait seriously, which made him not sleepy at all. He was now uneasy. Many uncertain factors appeared in his mind, some of which were so fast that he could not catch them, and could only use other methods. Bai Luo thought about it, and did not speak, but began to toss and turn. Seeing that the two people next to him had fallen asleep, he shook his head helplessly. He guessed that he might be exhausted today, but he was still a little fortunate. After all, if something bad really happened, he still didn't want them to be involved. Just like this, in his uneasiness, the sky outside soon became completely dark, and he also fell asleep drowsily because of waiting. However, Bai Luo did not dare to sleep too deeply, fearing that something would happen that he would not be able to detect, and he remained alert deep in his heart. Bai Luo. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Just when everything was quiet around him, Bai Luo suddenly heard a shouting voice. At first, he thought it was a dream caused by being too nervous. But when he felt it becoming more and more real, he did not think so. He woke up all of a sudden, and saw the source of the sound in front of him. Bai Luo found that it was some unknown creatures. Even so, it was not clear in the dark, and the sound just now also scared him. He had no way to see their true faces, let alone their identities, so he thought of using other methods to observe. Bai Luo looked at the moon behind him, which was very bright, and changed the direction of his body. Soon there was some faint light, so he looked more carefully. He quickly came to the front position, pointed his finger in his direction, and asked carefully, "Are you some kind of monster? I feel like you are very familiar." When he saw the other person's situation in his mind, he couldn't help but speak out his thoughts, but he only had an impression, but couldn't say his name. Bai Luo was very anxious and even felt a hazy feeling, but he couldn't say it, even when it came to his lips, so he had to give up. He just asked tentatively and still had some expectations for the result, but he didn't hear any sound. After waiting for a long time, Bai Luo didn't expect this situation, and he also felt the gaze from the other party. Although he had a talisman given by the patron saint, he still felt a little scared. He just waited like this, and time passed by, and Bai Luo no longer had much patience, and planned to check his situation closely. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 688, Blue Elf. A lot of evil spirits have appeared nearby. Just when Bai Luo was about to give up, he heard the other party's voice, which seemed even more unusual in this quiet room. In particular, he heard that the other party's voice was unusual, and it seemed that he was deliberately holding back something. Before he had time to explore, he heard the voice outside. Bai Luo listened carefully. He didn't dare to think about the bad side at first, but when he thought about what the other party had just said, he also confirmed the truth of the matter. He became more suspicious. He knew that it couldn't be a guardian god. Thinking that he could be so kind to tell him this, he became confused. Bai Luo didn't think that in this place, he could have such an ability to make all the forces on all sides protect him, so he could only make random suspicions. The other party seemed to have noticed Bai Luo's expression just now, and subconsciously looked outside, and even deliberately observed the surrounding situation. He saw the floating talisman, and was still a little worried at first, but now he became completely relieved and prepared to leave. When the other party was preparing, he looked at Bai Luo and the two people around him, frowned tightly, and then continued to exhort. "You must be careful." After he finished speaking, he was ready to leave completely, thinking that what he should do had been done, and just by observing Bai Luo's expression, he knew that he had listened to him. Bai Luo listened to what he said, noticed his movements, guessed something, and anxiously looked at his back as he was about to leave and asked, "Who sent you? Why are you telling me this? What is your purpose? How do you know these things?" He didn't figure out these things, and there was no way to feel at ease, so he asked a series of questions in his mind, but no matter what he said, the other party didn't respond. This attitude made Bai Luo more suspicious. When he was about to continue asking, he found that the person just now had left here. Bai Luo didn't expect it to end so quickly, but thinking of what he had just said, he became more vigilant, which was also a clue for them. In the end, he had no other choice but to go back and continue to rest. He originally forced himself to persuade himself to calm down, but found that he couldn't do it at all. At the end, Bai Luo's sleepiness was completely gone. His mind was full of what he had just said, and there were many things he couldn't figure out. He began to get irritated and couldn't wait to figure out what happened this time. The more he thought about it, the more he felt something was wrong. Bai Luo's feelings became stronger and stronger, so he hurried back to look for it, but he still didn't find anything, as if what happened just now had never happened. He didn't believe it, but there was no other way. The other party just came and went in a hurry, and there were no other suspicious discoveries. Forget it, let's go back and rest. Bai Luo thought about it, and decided to ensure the conditions he had now. He would talk about this matter later, and said to himself. Half an hour later, Bai Luo was so tired that he couldn't help yawning. Seeing that there was nothing else to deal with here, he wanted to find a place to rest. But at this time, Bai Luo just lay down on the bed. After that, he found that there were some changes in his room, and some light blue light was faintly coming from his side. He hurried over there, and the scene in front of him also surprised Bai Luo. Suddenly, some blue humanoid elves appeared in his room, and they stood around him. After seeing this, Bai Luo sat up immediately. The timing of the appearance of these elves was indeed unexpected to Bai Luo, so Bai Luo was also a little dumbfounded. He looked around at the elves standing next to him, and found that he didn't recognize any of them. Why did they suddenly appear here? Logically speaking, this kind of elves is still very rare, and he can't see them whenever he wants. But now these elves appeared for no reason, and there were a lot of them. Bai Luo felt that he couldn't be so confused. Although he didn't recognize these things, they did appear here. So this matter needed Bai Luo to solve it, and then Bai Luo hurried to his study to look through the classics. But after looking through it for a long time, he didn't see any clues, and he only got some things that were irrelevant to the importance of the matter. Seeing the information recorded in the classics, Bai Luo couldn't help but sigh, and then put the classics back. After all, these things are of no use to him. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. Bai Luo had no other options, and then he looked at the blue elves around him. He could only stare at them, and he didn't know what to say for a moment. Because he had no idea where to start, Bai Luo waved his hand helplessly, and then went out to find Mondo and the others. He soon found Mondo and the others, and when he wanted to speak, he thought of some other points. He didn't know if Mondo and the others could see the existence of those blue elves. After all, there were many things that he could see, but Mondo and the others couldn't. But now he had no other options, and this matter couldn't be solved by his own strength. So he finally wanted to tell Mondo and the others about this matter, and then he spoke. Mondo, come with me quickly. There are some problems here. You come and see the situation here, and see if there is any solution. Since Bai Luo had already said this, they naturally would not refuse Bai Luo's request. Then others followed Bai Luo to Bai Luo's room. Bai Luo stopped when he stood at the door, but finally opened the door in one go. Sure enough, these blue elves were still here. They didn't seem to move, just standing there and looking at Bai Luo. But Bai Luo didn't care about their situation first, but looked at Mondo and Duo too, who were standing beside him. Mondo and the others were also very surprised. They stared at the blue elves around Bai Luo with wide eyes. Mondo's reaction was a bit intense. He pointed at these blue elves and continued. Brother Bai, what are these things? Why do they look like humans and not humans? I didn't expect that Mondo and the others could actually see the existence of blue elves, so this matter didn't seem so bad. After all, as long as everyone can work together to find a solution, then they will definitely be able to think of a suitable solution. Chapter 689 Acceptance. Bai Luo walked to Mondo's side and patted Mondo's shoulder. Don't be so excited. I don't know when these things suddenly appeared here, but it seems that these should be some blue elves. So far, they haven't done anything out of the ordinary. They should not be aggressive. After saying these words, Bai Luo did not just stand there in a daze, but walked directly to the elves. So far, Bai Luo has not tried to communicate with them, and these elves have not spoken to Bai Luo. Bai Luo does not know whether these blue elves can communicate with people normally, which is indeed what Bai Luo neglected. When he reacted, he asked directly, "Excuse me, why are you here? This is my residence. Please tell me the reason." The expressions on the faces of the blue elves did not change at all. After listening to Bai Luo's words, they slowly spoke. "We came here on the orders of the Guardian. He asked us to protect you closely." After listening to the explanation of the elves, Bai Luo also suddenly realized. He was curious about why these blue elves suddenly appeared here before, and it turned out that they were sent by the Guardian. I had read a lot of history books before, but didn't get any results, so now it makes sense. It is indeed possible for the Guardian to find something that is not available here to protect himself. But now that I have made arrangements, everything is ready here. Bai Luo is not afraid of those people coming to attack them again, and he is looking forward to whether his plan will succeed this time. So from the current situation, Bai Luo does not need the help of these blue elves at all. He naturally knows that the Guardian does this for his own good, but the current situation is like this, and he really does not need these elves to help him at all. Then Bai Luo said, "I also hope that you can go back and convey my intentions to the Guardian. I have prepared everything here, and I'm very confident in the deployment. I have received the Guardian's intentions, but I really don't need your help here, so you should go back quickly. This is not a safe place." After saying this, Bai Luo saluted them again. But these people didn't have any intention of leaving at all, and they were indifferent after hearing Bai Luo's words. They just stood there blankly, and one of the blue elves stood up and spoke. "This is a task assigned to us by the Guardian. We will not leave here until this task is completed. I hope you will not make things difficult for us." The other blue elves also expressed their positions and said that they would definitely complete the task excellently. However, Bai Luo was not worried about whether they could help him at all. It was just that he had prepared everything, and the deployment was already perfect. That's why he felt that it was unnecessary. Looking at the attitude of the blue elves in front of him, Bai Luo was also somewhat helpless. Bai Luo did not immediately express his attitude, but looked at the blue elves in front of him with some entanglement. After seeing this situation, Duo2 on the side also walked up to Bai Luo on the side and said, "Brother Bai, you see, the Guardians are all here to help us intentionally. Although I also know that our current deployment here is already very perfect. And I also think it is more than enough to deal with those people. But since these blue elves have come, they can't go back without completing the task. Anyway, more people are better than fewer people. If there is any accident later, there will be someone to help." In fact, what Duo2 said was indeed quite good. He couldn't guarantee whether there would be any accidents later. Although Bai Luo is very confident now, no one can predict what will happen in the future. Just when Bai Luo was about to nod, Mondo stood up again. His opinion seemed to be completely opposite to Duo2's. He patted Duo2 on the shoulder, then turned around and said to Bai Luo, "Our plan is halfway through now, and everything is ready. Now that we have more people, I feel that our plan may be ruined. After all, if we have more people, we need to send people to manage them. If we don't manage them well, it may cause other troubles. I'm afraid that something unexpected will happen in the future." Duo2 was a little anxious. He felt that what Mondo said was completely unnecessary worry. It's not very difficult to manage a few people like you, and who knows what will happen in the future. If something unexpected really happens, these people can also be our helpers. After listening to Duo2's words, Mondo waved his hand angrily. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR is the first to publish this novel. But now we are fully prepared. Where should we put them if you ask them to come? Who will be responsible if something unexpected happens later? The two people really disagreed and were about to quarrel. Bai Luo also stood up at this time. After all, in Bai Luo's eyes, this matter did not seem to be a big deal at all. He did not want them to quarrel over this matter, so he stopped them directly. "Stop quarreling. It's useless to say so much now. Since things have come to this, let them stay for now. As for the series of problems that will arise later, I will pay more attention to myself." Duo2 did not speak for a while, but he did not seem to want to back down. In fact, what they said was very reasonable, but no one could predict what would happen later, and since the Guardian had already sent these blue elves here, it would be difficult for them to go back and report without completing the task. Bai Luo was silent for a while, then nodded. "Then let's leave it at that for now. You two don't need to have any conflicts over this matter. After all, what you two said makes a lot of sense. But we should also look at some things more comprehensively. Anyway, let's leave it at that for now. Everyone should also deal with their own work in a timely manner. After all, the things that come later are the most important." Mondo and Duo2 nodded at the same time, and then the two of them didn't argue anymore. Bai Luo looked at Duo2 on the side and said to Duo2, "Duo2, since I have decided to keep them here, you should take them to familiarize themselves with the situation here later. This is also very important. You must do this well. Brother Bai, don't worry, I will take care of this matter. I will definitely let them quickly familiarize themselves with the situation here, and I will not cause any trouble to everyone later." Chapter 690, Bai Luo's explanation. Bai Luo didn't say anything more. He just waved to Mondo and took Mondo to the side. After seeing this, Mondo felt a little puzzled. He didn't know what Bai Luo wanted to say to him. He looked quite mysterious and deliberately sent Duo2 away. But since Bai Luo had already done this, Mondo didn't ask any more questions before Bai Luo spoke. He knew that Bai Luo must have something important to say. Bai Luo looked at Mondo. In fact, He had thought a lot in his mind just now. From the beginning, he felt that this matter was a bit difficult to handle. If it was in the past, he would definitely agree without hesitation. But now, according to this situation, he always felt that the Guardian was interfering too much in his affairs. Obviously, he had already prepared for this matter, but he sent some other people over. Bai Luo always felt that this matter was not so simple. Now leaving those blue elves behind was just a temporary solution. Then he also expressed his concerns. Mundo, in fact, things are not as you see. Although I know that the Guardian has indeed helped me a lot, and he may have done so much just to help me, but I don't like this feeling. It makes me feel like I'm being monitored. Bai Luo paused when he said this, and then continued. I feel that these blue elves can be his spies. In fact, I can make some decisions myself. Now the Guardian has sent these blue elves here, which is beyond the rules. This makes me feel very uncomfortable. After hearing Bai Luo's words, Mundo also instantly understood what Bai Luo meant. In fact, he can also understand Bai Luo's feelings. After all, they have already left there, and it is not appropriate for the Guardian to care so much. Mundo didn't think so much before, but now Bai Luo's words really make people think more. After all, no one is willing to do something for no reason. The Guardian did help them a lot before, so what exactly does the Guardian want to get from them? Mundo couldn't help but frown, but now there is no way to start, but they must also keep in mind. Although he couldn't directly give the Guardian a face, he still had to be clear about some things. Brother Bai, I understand. I will definitely pay attention to the actions of those people in the future. When the time comes, I will take my confidants to investigate this matter and see if I can find any substantial clues. I will come back to report as soon as possible. After seeing Mondo's reaction, Bai Luo nodded with relief. After all, his consciousness has been transmitted. As for what will happen in the future, Bai Luo can only take one step at a time, but they must be very careful every step they take. Seeing that the matter here has been handled, Bai Luo then went to find Duo 2. He wanted to come over and talk to Duo 2 about this matter before, but was delayed by these blue elves. Now Bai Luo remembered it. He walked to Duo 2's side and then said, Duo 2, I have something to give you. Duo 2 looked at Bai Luo in front of him with some curiosity. Bai Luo could see that there was indeed some excitement in his eyes. Then Bai Luo took out a sword and placed it in front of Duo 2, smiling and saying to Duo 2 in front of him, this is a treasure I recently acquired. It is the fire and cold sword. I will tell you the purpose of this sword later. But now you must know that this sword must not be pulled out unless it is absolutely necessary. You must remember this. Duo 2 took the fire and cold sword. Seeing Bai Luo's cautious expression, Duo 2 also knew that the origin of the sword in front of him must be not simple. Then Duo 2 nodded very seriously and said to Bai Luo in front of him, Brother Bai, don't worry. Since you said that this sword cannot be used unless it is absolutely necessary, I will definitely keep it in mind. Seeing that Duo 2 had already said this, Bai Luo did not say anything more. Because he had already explained what he should explain, and now that he had handed the fire and cold sword to Duo 2, how to use the sword in the future was also his own problem. And Bai Luo also trusted Duo 2 enough. After all, their growth during this period was also seen in his eyes. According to the current situation, Bai Luo has temporarily settled these blue elves. As for how to deal with them later, Bai Luo has already made plans in his mind. But just before his plan began, another situation occurred here. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar released this novel for the first time. Because after these blue elves stayed here for a while, there was actually a blue elf with tentacles among them. He suddenly came to find Bai Luo that day. He was not vague at all, and then directly stated his purpose. There is something wrong with your situation. I feel through my induction that some of the people here are deliberately created by people possessed by evil spirits. This situation looks very bad. And from my observations in the past few days, these people are also disappearing at a very fast speed, so the situation is very wrong. After listening to the elf's words, Bai Luo immediately became alert. After all, he didn't notice this matter before. Now the expression on the elf's face looks very serious. At that time, he also knew that this matter should not be a joke to him. He stood up quickly. If the current situation was correct, he would have to investigate the matter quickly. After that, he called some of his confidants. Go down and check the situation nearby to see if many people around have disappeared. If this is indeed the case, you must remember to check which households have disappeared, and then see if there are any special circumstances. After hearing Bai Luo's instructions, these confidants also went down to act quickly. Bai Luo's expression was not good. During this period, he was also worried about the progress of the matter, because the speed at which people disappeared was too fast. If it continued like this, the things that followed might become more and more difficult to handle. Bai Luo didn't want to see this matter gradually get out of control, so he also notified everyone to go down and investigate together. However, he asked for a long time and did not get any clues because these people disappeared for no reason and they did not leave any useful traces at all. The people under him also made slow progress. Bai Luo sighed helplessly and then looked at the surrounding environment again. Chapter 691. Finding someone to investigate. Now I really need to adjust my direction, and this matter must be resolved quickly. But what should I do now? Because it is too difficult to find useful clues. He sorted out the order of events in his mind, and then he thought of a very important point. Since these people disappeared for no reason, everything in this world has its own laws of existence. How could they suddenly disappear in this world? It is possible that they were just transferred to a place, but they have walked half a circle here and have searched almost everywhere, but in the end they still did not find any traces of the missing people. Where would they go? Then Bai Luo thought of another place. If this matter was really done intentionally by someone, then they must find a place to gather the missing villagers. Could it be the manor? Bai Luo immediately thought of this place, because he had not sent anyone to patrol the manor. After all, the defense system there was too high. Although the abilities of these confidants under his command were indeed good, they might still be in danger if they went in. Bai Luo didn't want to joke with their lives, so he didn't plan to let them go to the manor to check the situation. But he had to do this, and then Bai Luo thought of the other people. He ordered his men to call Mondo, Dotu and Ursu over together. The three of them hurried over and saw that Bai Luo's expression was not right. Mondo spoke first. Brother Bai, what's wrong? Is there another situation here? Bai Luo nodded. After all, something did happen now, and it was very tricky. But Bai Luo called them over to solve the problem, so he didn't intend to hide it. Recently, there have been frequent disappearances here, but I brought my men here to search for a long time today and didn't find any reason, and there were no valuable clues when I went to their homes to investigate. But I know that they can't disappear for no reason, and I think this matter is very likely related to those people hiding in the dark. Bai Luo stopped talking here, and the expression on his face became very complicated. After a pause, Bai Luo continued his reasoning. Since we have already searched here, the final result is so disappointing. So I think it is very likely that the place where the people gathered may be a place we have not touched. They locked the people there so that we can't find them directly. Mondo and the others also felt that what Bai Luo said was very reasonable, and then nodded at the same time. Ursu listened to Bai Luo's words, and in fact, he almost knew what Bai Luo meant by calling them, because he also knew that Bai Luo's idea was indeed correct. Since they had searched all the places where they might find clues, but in the end they returned empty-handed. Now there is only one place that has not been touched, that is, the manor they rarely enter. After all, the defense level of the manor is too high, and the security is very strict. Ordinary people can't appear there. Many people who break in there for no reason may lose their lives. Everyone wants to stay away from there. Then I know what you mean, Brother Bai. Those people can't disappear for no reason. Now the most likely place for them to appear is the manor. Bai Luo nodded and said, that's exactly what I thought, but now the only reliable people I can use here are you three, so I want you three to go in and check the situation. Mondo and the others didn't think much about it. After hearing Bai Luo's words, they immediately nodded and agreed. Then leave this matter to us. Although the manor is indeed very dangerous, as long as we are careful, there shouldn't be any accidents. Bai Luo was still very confident in the three of them. They had improved so fast during this period. There shouldn't be any accidents in dealing with the things inside. But Bai Luo couldn't help but give them a few more instructions. Remember to be careful inside. If something really happens, run out quickly. Anyway, everything should be based on your own safety. Don't take risks inside. Mondo nodded. He naturally knew that Bai Luo was still worried about them. But they had been in the manor before. Although they encountered many accidents many times, they still got through it safely in the end. So Mondo didn't take this matter to heart. He looked in the direction of the manor and then said to Bai Luo in front of him indifferently, "Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. Don't worry, brother Bai. We are just going inside to check the situation. We are not going to take any risks. If there is any accident, we will naturally be more careful, so you don't have to worry." Bai Luo patted Mondo's shoulder with some concern, but he had already explained what he should explain. Saying more would make him seem a bit long-winded. Then they came to the manor, and Bai Luo watched the three of them go in. They came in quite smoothly before, and Bai Luo felt relieved when he saw them go in so easily. He actually wanted to go in with them at that time, but he was really worried about the situation outside. After all, things happened so suddenly, and Bai Luo didn't know what would happen next. So he had to take charge of the situation outside, but he was also worried about their safety here, and they didn't just watch the situation outside. But time passed by, and after about half an hour, Bai Luo didn't see them come out. Bai Luo did not hear any other noises. He felt that things were not that simple. He then shouted their names and asked them to come out quickly, but they did not respond. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo became even more anxious. Half an hour later, what should we do? We can't just ignore it, right? As the eldest brother of a group of people, Bai Luo could not just let things go. He must take some action. If he just ignored it, others would not obey him. But this is the situation now. We can't. Although Bai Luo was very anxious, so were the people around him. Yes, if we rush forward now, it might only backfire. The people around him also gave him advice. It was impossible for Bai Luo to go to the rescue alone, while the others did nothing. Chapter 692. 3 people go crazy. But are we just going to wait like this? Bai Luo asked. If things continue to develop in this direction, to put it bluntly, they are afraid of death, and dare not move forward. Are you afraid? Bai Luo couldn't think of any other way or other ideas to explain their true feelings. How is it possible? Brother Bai, you know us. We can't think of problems like this. And when we encounter something, the first thing we think of is to go forward and fight. We will never retreat. Everyone said in unison, and these words made Bai Luo feel a little better. After all, at least everyone's thoughts are still consistent, not the first one. Since everyone thinks so, why are you still looking at me and saying that I can't move forward? Bai Luo didn't understand everyone's behavior, because if he thought this way, it really made sense. It's not that we are stopping you from moving forward on purpose, but in this situation, it is obvious that we can't act rashly. Indeed, the current situation has changed from before. Moreover, the current terrain position and the place where they are not the best fighting state. If we don't figure things out now and move around randomly, it will only backfire. I didn't expect that Bai Luo, who has always been the backbone of the team, would be a little careless at this time because of his eagerness to save people. Brother Bai, I said you are also considering us, but why did you become like this when it comes to your own safety? We have told you many times that you are our big brother. If you have any accidents, we brothers will also feel guilty. After saying these words, everyone nodded frequently, as if to confirm that what they said was absolutely true. I know what everyone means. I guess Bai Luo must have understood everyone's painstaking efforts. Then what should we do now? Are Ursu and the other three just going to leave it alone? As soon as Bai Luo finished speaking, some strange sounds came from the surroundings. What's going on? Bai Luo's reaction ability and ear sensitivity have always been very high. So when everyone hasn't reacted yet, he has already felt the sounds around him. Did anyone hear any strange wailing around? Bai Luo, who heard the sound first, hurriedly asked the people around him. It seems that there are indeed some different sounds. After hearing Bai Luo's question, a brother also listened carefully to see if there were any extra sounds around. Everyone, be quiet and listen carefully to the tiny sounds around you. Bai Luo slightly increased the volume of the sound, hoping that everyone could actively cooperate with him. After everyone quieted down, it seems that the wailing sound has indeed increased. Perhaps it is because it is too quiet, which makes these wailing sounds seem a bit desolate. No way, it's not the time of day yet. Such loud wailing. What happened? Everyone didn't know the current situation and could only guess who made these wailing sounds through their own guesses. Or they could ask someone to check it out next, and then they would know the truth. Everyone should be careful, these wailing sounds don't seem simple. Bai Luo didn't bother to think so much, and rushed out. Brother Bai, be careful. Before everyone finished speaking, Bai Luo had already rushed out. Came outside to check the news. It seems that the words "don't be impulsive" at the beginning did not have much effect, and those who should rush forward should still rush forward. Bai Luo came out and looked at the surroundings. He was shocked by the scene in front of him. At first, he didn't expect that these things would happen so quickly in front of him, but he was surprised. Ursu was the first to appear in front of Bai Luo. This scene made Ursu look up and look at the person who was calling him. What he didn't expect was that the person who Bai Luo and others had been looking for but couldn't find suddenly appeared in front of him. What's going on? How did you appear here? Bai Luo hurriedly wanted to ask clearly, but Ursu hadn't spoken yet, and Ursu used the same method as Ursu, which surprised Bai Luo. What? Why are you also? Bai Luo was once again surprised by the scene in front of him. You two are here. What about Erden? The question now is not to be surprised why they appeared, but to ask why Erden didn't appear. Hey. As soon as the voice fell, Erden also appeared from the other side. Now that the three of them have gathered, Bai Luo initially felt uncomfortable and unhappy because he had not found them, but now that they appeared in front of him in perfect condition, he no longer had to worry about anything. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar published this novel for the first time. But, although the people did appear in front of Bai Luo, the faces of the three people in front of him were too pale. The originally dark faces turned pale in an indescribable way. Why do you look so bad? After Bai Luo finished speaking, the people in front of him seemed to be under some kind of evil spell, and all of them knelt down from their previous standing positions with a bang. Hey, what's going on? Before Bai Luo finished speaking, the three of them fell down one after another. No way! Exclamation mark. Bai Luo's words. This made Bai Luo at a loss. But now is not the time to be surprised. Bai Luo knew in his heart that the most important thing he should do was to go forward and check their bodies to see if there was anything wrong. But that being said, if there was nothing wrong with the body, how could it be possible to fall down for no reason? Before Bai Luo treated the three people, he first dragged the three people who were originally separated together. After all, they were all tall, and carrying them was indeed not as labor saving as dragging them. But at this moment, the three people who were originally fine suddenly became abnormal. What are you doing? What happened to make Bai Luo so panicked? The two pillars in front of him actually took the weapons he had given them and fought casually, which made Bai Luo unbearable. After all, it was casually hurting other people's lives. How could he treat others like this? Exclamation mark. No matter who the people in front were and how good their relationship with him was, it would be against his own conscience. You guys, stop it. Bai Luo just wanted to see if he could wake up the three people by shouting. If he could, then this method would still be useful. But obviously, his words did not seem to be heard. At this moment, Mondo and Duota suddenly came to Bai Luo's side from their previous place. Chapter 693, Bai Luo's Rescue. What on earth is going on? This is the first thing Duota and Mondo said after they came to Bai Luo. Not knowing what happened, the two of them looked at the three people in front of them and didn't know what to say. I'm not very clear either, because after all, this is the first time I've seen such a chaotic scene, and I don't know what to say. I was still very surprised when I saw the three of them when I came out. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he lowered his head and remained silent. Did they become like this as soon as you saw them? Or did they experience something after seeing you? Duo 2's question made Bai Luo not know how to answer. In this way, Bai Luo felt that he had harmed the three of them. But the whole story still needed to be explained to Duo 2 and the others. Only in this way could they look at the matter more objectively. That's about it. To be frank, I don't know why they became like this, but I'm sure that I didn't do anything to them. Bai Luo was very sure of this, and even if Bai Luo didn't say it, they would still know it. Even if they didn't believe the scene in front of them, they would believe in Bai Luo's character. Okay, we are still very relieved about this. After saying this, Mondo patted Bai Luo's shoulder and expressed his support for him. Hearing the two say this, Bai Luo felt much more relieved. Then what should we do next? It's impossible to let them kill these people here at will, right? Bai Luo expressed his doubts, but it seemed that he had no way to deal with it. They are so desperate to do these things that hurt the world, so we don't have to keep them. Duo 2 expressed his opinion. I think there is some truth. After all, they dare to kill others like this now. If we put them back to our side, we can't guarantee that they will not attack us. Don't you think it makes sense? Mondo and Duo 2's ideas coincided. But if this is the case, then before. To be honest, Bai Luo is indeed a nostalgic person. They have played for this team before. If they just end their lives like this, wouldn't it be a shame for their previous efforts? I'm afraid this is a bit bad, right? Bai Luo still rejected their proposal in a tactful way. Don't worry about me. I'm going to kill them now. To prevent future troubles. For some reason, Duo 2 was very impulsive and wanted to teach them a lesson. Fortunately, Bai Luo was quick-witted. If he hadn't been able to stop Duo 2 before he rushed forward, Duo 2 would have been entangled with Ursu and the other two. No, calm down a little. If you rush forward like this, what if they get crazy and hit you too? Do you want to fight 1 against 3? Their strength is not bad. After Bai Luo finished speaking to Duo 2, Duo 2 seemed to calm down a little, not knowing how to answer Bai Luo's words. But Duo 2 was still unwilling. Don't say but. You go with Mondo now to take care of the wounded. These wounded really need your care. Bai Luo calmed down and took everyone to play it safe, not wanting anything else to go wrong. Forget it. Brother Bai has his own ideas. We should not disrupt his plan. After all, we still need to trust him unconditionally. After Mondo finished speaking, he pulled Duo 2 to the side. But it seemed that Duo 2 was still unwilling. Let's go. Don't stop here. Mondo shouted at Duo 2 while dragging him to the wounded. After a while, Duo 2 and Mondo left Bai Luo's sight, and Bai Luo watched them leave. Oh. Bai Luo sighed. He didn't know how to solve this matter. But now the most important thing is to go forward and ask the two of them what happened to make them so unreasonable and kill people at will. The next second, Bai Luo didn't stay here, but immediately stepped forward and prepared to walk in front of Ursu and the other three. He wanted to find out what happened and see what happened that made them become like this. It's better to act than to talk. Ursu. Bai Luo shouted, but Ursu, who heard the shout, turned around and looked at Bai Luo. It seemed that he had never known this person. Looking at Ursu's puzzled expression, Bai Luo began to find that something seemed to be wrong. Do you know who I am? Bai Luo asked carefully. Sure enough, it was exactly the same as he guessed. Who are you? Exclamation mark. I don't care who you are. Ursu's answer made Bai Luo stunned for a long time. No way. Exclamation mark. You don't even know me. Bai Luo was frightened by these simple words. Bai Luo thought to himself, if even Ursu doesn't know me, then Erden and Ursu wouldn't. Bai Luo didn't dare to think any further. But in order to put his words to the test to see if they were true, he quickly ran towards Ursu. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Ursu. Bai Luo called out to Ursu, I hope you don't forget to recognize me. At the same time, Bai Luo certainly didn't want Ursu's situation to be the same as Urzu's, otherwise Erden's situation should be no different from Th's. Urzu, who heard the shout, also turned his head to look at Bai Luo, but it was obvious that his expression was not much different from Urzu's. No way. Not only have they changed their personalities, but they don't even recognize me? Urzu is like this. There is no need to ask too much about Erden's situation. Okay, since you are so ruthless and don't remember me, then I will use my method to make you remember me. Bai Luo was directly irritated by Urzu and the other two. Bai Luo, who had originally planned to negotiate with them, directly released his power of chaos at this time. Once this power of chaos was triggered, it trapped Urzu and Erden directly inside. This is similar to forming a protective shield. I ask you again, I hope you can answer my questions well. If you know me, but still pretend not to know, don't blame me for being rude. Bai Luo began to warn the three of them. I'll count to 3. 3, 2, 1. When the time was up, the three still had no reaction. It seemed useless to say more. Bai Luo had nothing to say. At this moment, Bai Luo suddenly felt that things were not as simple as he imagined. After all, the three of them could not have become like this for no reason. There must be a reason. Chapter 694, Strange Cat Meow. At this time, Bai Luo felt that there seemed to be a very strange power in the bodies of the three people. After he carefully felt it, he found that the spiritual power in the bodies of the three people was actually chaotic. What is the reason? Bai Luo was very surprised after feeling this phenomenon and didn't know what to do. But his subconscious told Bai Luo that these people should have been bewitched. And this kind of bewitching technique is not something that ordinary people can do. I really think it's outrageous. What on earth did you guys do? How did it become like this? Bai Luo didn't know where to start. He could only pray that these people would be safe first. It's not a good idea to keep wasting time with them like this. Bai Luo thought in his heart that there must be a way to solve this problem. Next, he thought in his heart that it would be better to take actual action. The next step, Bai Luo directly passed through the second pillar and teleported to the side of the second pillar. They didn't react, especially the second pillar, who didn't know how to react. The next step, Bai Luo directly began to forcefully infuse spiritual power into the second pillar. No matter what, as long as there is a way to survive, he must try it once, just in case it succeeds. As expected, when the spiritual power was infused into Urzu's body, Urzu fainted directly due to excessive spiritual power infusion. Urzu and Erden, who saw this scene, were immediately upset. After all, their companions were treated like this by Bai Luo, so they must be uncomfortable in their hearts. What are you doing? The two shouted loudly in the direction of Bai Luo. Bai Luo didn't think anything of their shouting, but just wanted to prepare for the things in front of him. But Erden and Urzu didn't think so. They started to attack Bai Luo directly. How dare you do this to us? Bai Luo's behavior angered Urzu and Erden. They started to attack directly. Because of this, the fierce confrontation between the two sides began. Erden and Urzu's original strength should not be like this. They should be much weaker. But now they are attacking Bai Luo's direction like crazy. No, you are crazy, right? Bai Luo didn't know what to say about their fierce attack. After all, his strength before was indeed not as good as it is now. The two of them simply couldn't hear what Bai Luo said, and only wanted to attack. After a set of battles, fortunately Bai Luo was able to deal with the two, otherwise it would be difficult for him to fight two alone. It should be said that Bai Luo's strength is still unmatched. Among several people, Bai Luo doesn't need to spend too much effort to knock the person in front of him to the ground. Half a pot of tea passed. Bai Luo looked at the two people lying on the ground, not knowing whether to be happy or sad. After several people fell to the ground, Bai Luo could go forward to check on them without any effort. After all, in order to know what they did to become like this, Bai Luo took the lead to check on Urzu, wanting to know if he was also poisoned by the witchcraft like Urzu. Bai Luo immediately stepped forward and came to Urzu, who was lying on the ground. He squatted down in front of the few people to check. After waiting for a long time, Bai Luo already had the answer in his heart. As expected, these people were all poisoned by a witchcraft. Why not try to solve it? Anyway, you may encounter this situation in the future, and you can gain more experience if you encounter it now. At this moment, Bai Luo began to think about what method can be used to uncover the veil of this witchcraft and break it. Another quarter of an hour passed. Bai Luo had taken out everything he had learned in his life. Bai Luo, who didn't know what to do, had no idea what to do. What on earth is this thing? How can it be solved so easily? Bai Luo's mentality gradually became irritable. At this time, the elves suddenly came to Bai Luo's side. Are you in trouble? The elves seemed to understand. Bai Luo looked at the elves who suddenly appeared, and suddenly felt hopeful. Coincidentally, the elves did not let Bai Luo down. I can solve this witchcraft. Suddenly, an elf with white hair in a group of elves spoke. Ah. Bai Luo was startled by the elf's words. Really? Can you really do it? Bai Luo seemed very excited. When have we ever lied to you? The elf came to Bai Luo's side. Oh my god, you are really great. I'm so lucky to have you by my side. Bai Luo couldn't help but sigh. This group of elves has helped him more than once. Of course, the elves also knew their abilities. Then it's up to you to help my 3 good brothers. Please save them. Bai Luo's biggest wish now is that these good brothers can be transformed back. No problem. The elf replied. After that, the elf released a blue-green beam of light at the other party, shining on Ursu and the other 2. The error-free version is available at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. Seeing this situation, Bai Luo was very surprised. Seeing the current situation, he suddenly felt that his partner should be saved with a high probability. After an unknown amount of time, it seemed like a long time, but it also seemed very fast. Okay. As the elf finished speaking, Ursu, and Erden sat up one after another. This means that the 3 have been successfully detoxified. At the same time, Bai Luo received a message. None of the people harmed by Zhu and others died. Great. Bai Luo secretly rejoiced. Let's all rest first, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Bai Luo ordered. Okay, brother Bai, I understand. Yes. The next morning, after waking up, Bai Luo was about to go out to take a look when he heard a burst of cat calls. Could it be that there are a lot of cats around here? This is the first reaction to hearing the sound of cats calling. Bai Luo felt that most people's first reaction should be this, not just himself. He intuitively felt that, even if he went out again, he would definitely not be able to find anything, and he would definitely find nothing, so he didn't plan to go out. After closing the window, the sound was indeed much smaller, but it could still be heard. Soon, in addition to the sound of cats calling, Bai Luo also heard the voice of his friend. Guessing that his friend must have been woken up, Bai Luo came to the corridor outside and saw many friends standing in the corridor complaining, so he went to check. What's going on? Why are there so many cats meowing? Did you all hear it? Yeah, how could we not hear it? It's so loud, it's so annoying. I was woken up by the noise, otherwise I wouldn't have come out. What's going on in this inn? Soon, everyone saw Bai Luo and stopped talking. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 695, Mistakes During the Trial. Brother Bai, were you also woken up? One of the friends asked Bai Luo. Everyone who came out was woken up, and it seemed that Bai Luo was no exception. It seemed that he was indeed woken up, but it was not the sound of a cat's cry, but some very strange sounds, but now it was gone. In order not to make everyone worry with himself, Bai Luo did not tell everyone, and planned to keep this matter a secret from everyone. Yes, it is. Bai Luo only answered this sentence. Okay, since you are awake, don't worry about what the sound is. Anyway, you can't sleep well when you go back. Why don't you go back and meditate? Calm down and you won't feel irritated. Bai Luo asked everyone to go back and meditate. He knew that everyone was upset now and probably wouldn't listen to what he said. It's better to let them calm down. Hearing Bai Luo say this, everyone had no objection. What Bai Luo said was indeed a good idea. After all, apart from meditating, they didn't know what else to do. Okay, Brother Bai, let's go back and meditate first. All the friends followed Bai Luo's advice and went back to meditate, leaving Bai Luo standing alone in the corridor. Bai Luo felt that his mind was in a mess, so he turned back to his room. Sitting on the bed, Bai Luo also began to meditate. He felt that he should calm down for a while. He had experienced too many things today. It made his mind very messy. He was interrupted while meditating just now. Now meditating again, Bai Luo concentrated and made himself not think about other things. Just after entering the state, Bai Luo had completely forgotten what happened today and immersed himself in meditation. But suddenly, he was disturbed by the sound of a hidden arrow again. This made Bai Luo, who had never been angry, a little angry. It was not easy to enter the state, but he was disturbed again. What kind of feeling was it? Getting up and walking out, Bai Luo wanted to see who was disturbing him like this. Just after leaving the room, he saw Duo2 walking towards him. Brother Bai, what are you going to do? Duo2 saw Bai Luo coming out and hurriedly walked to Bai Luo's side and asked Bai Luo. The anger on Bai Luo's face had not subsided. He was indeed angry just now. Now seeing Duo2, he knew that he should not take his anger out on Duo2, but he still couldn't control his emotions. I was meditating just now and was disturbed by the sound of a hidden arrow. I was just about to come out to check. What happened? Did you hear it just now? Bai Luo tried to get some information from Duo2, but Duo2 panicked when he saw Bai Luo's expression and quickly answered Bai Luo. So it's because of this. Brother Bai, don't be angry. It's me. I was just doing the trial. Really, don't be angry. I didn't know I disturbed you. Duo2 quickly explained and said that he didn't know he disturbed Bai Luo. Brother Bai, I really didn't know I disturbed you. Otherwise I would definitely not do this. Don't be angry. Duo2 kept staring at Bai Luo, and Bai Luo looked at Duo2 in confusion. Why did you come to my side during the trial? Bai Luo was still a little confused. Duo2's trial should not be in his direction. But he couldn't think of why Duo2 would deceive him, so Bai Luo asked his question. I didn't find the right target in the trial, so I came in the direction of Brother Bai. I'm really sorry, Brother Bai. I will pay attention next time. Duo2 hurriedly explained the reason why he did this again. He didn't know whether Bai Luo would believe it. He just kept looking at Bai Luo after he finished speaking, trying to find something from Bai Luo's expression. Bai Luo looked at Duo2 for a while. Knowing the truth, he didn't say much. He just looked at Duo2 for a while and left without saying a word. Duo2 was left there with a confused look on his face. He didn't know whether Bai Luo believed what he said, nor did he know what Bai Luo meant by leaving without saying anything. Alas, Brother Bai is so weird. The sunlight shone on Bai Luo's face, and soon, the slightly dazzling light woke Bai Luo from his sleep. Hiss, this light. Bai Luo was woken up as expected. The first sentence he said after waking up was about the light. The next step was to block his eyes with his hands. Unexpectedly, the light shone in from the corner of the window and happened to fall on his face. Ouch. Not knowing what time it was, Bai Luo only knew that it must be late and he couldn't sleep anymore. Get up, get up. Bai Luo didn't have the habit of staying in bed, but he was ready to get out of bed and do things immediately after being awakened by the sunlight. He didn't know how many things he hadn't prepared, and now was not the time to stay in bed. There are still many tasks that haven't been completed today. Bai Luo thought for a while in his heart, thinking about what he should do now. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR first published this novel. Soon, after thinking flexibly and agilely, he got the answer. Because they didn't know what was in the jungle yet, if there were any bad things, they also needed to explore, and it was impossible to just leave it alone. But at the same time, the things in the jungle were unknown, and they must make a lot of preparations before going there. If there were any harmful things, they could also remember them. Someone come. Bai Luo always believed that action was better than action. Instead of standing still, he might as well find someone to go to the jungle now. Anyway, it wouldn't be a loss. After a shout, people came around and surrounded Bai Luo. Brother Bai, what do you want me to do? The people who came to Bai Luo didn't know what Bai Luo would do next. They only knew that they should come here now. Anyway, Brother Bai wouldn't call them for no reason. I need to go to the jungle to explore. A few people come with me. There may be danger there, but it's a good adventure. It was indeed the case. Although they didn't know whether the place was safe, the opportunity to train this time was rare. Then I will go find a few trusted brothers and go to the jungle with Brother Bai. The people who came to Bai Luo's side were trustworthy in theory, but some people had limited abilities and didn't know if they could handle the jungle well. Wait a minute. Just as the younger brother who was calling people was about to call people, Bai Luo suddenly asked him to stop. Don't rush to find a trusted brother. Go and see if there are any brothers with better abilities first, or choose those with higher abilities among our good brothers, who can entrust their lives to us. Bai Luo's words made the person who went to call people suddenly realize. I understand, Brother Bai. At first, he only thought about how to call people, and didn't think about whether his ability was up to standard. Well, go quickly. After Bai Luo gave the order, the others quickly found their place according to his instructions. Chapter 696. Strange things happen frequently. After waiting for a long time, Bai Luo heard people around him calling him. Brother Bai, when can we set off? The people who were called over were so excited when they heard that they were being asked to explore the jungle. After all, they also knew that this was an affirmation of their strength. I can't tell what will happen next. So if you are really ready to go, you must ensure your safety at all times and not make any mistakes. Do you hear me? Bai Luo was most worried about the safety of everyone's lives. After all, no one can predict it. Yes, sir. Everyone said in unison. Then since everyone is ready, we can set off soon. If it's a little later, there may be more dangers and challenges. Bai Luo thought it would be better to go and come back quickly and not waste too much time here. Wait. Just when several people were about to set off, a shout suddenly interrupted their steps. What's that sound? Bai Luo didn't know who came from the sound after hearing it, so he stopped and planned to take a closer look. When Bai Luo stopped and looked back to see who said it, he saw a group of people who seemed to be local people. Oh, what can you do for me? Bai Luo saw these people coming, but he didn't know what to do, so he asked a few questions. Hey, you'd better not go there. Even the local people didn't say why, but just told Bai Luo that he couldn't go there, and the situation would be not optimistic if he went there. If that's the case, we should go and see it. After all, there is something going on there, which is better than us sitting here and waiting for death. No, we can't go. Seeing Bai Luo so determined to go to the front to participate in such a dangerous operation, several visitors immediately became uneasy. I'm not saying, why are you so determined to stop us? Exclamation mark. Do you really not want us to take risks, or are there some secrets hidden in here that you don't want us to discover? Exclamation mark. As soon as this sentence was finished, several people immediately became uneasy. But it was not unreasonable to be suspected like this. After all, their words and not explaining why they were blocking their way were really too deliberate. Speak. If there is anything we can accept. But if you insist on stopping us from going forward, we will go anyway. Bai Luo's character is still so straightforward. He doesn't care whether speaking like this will offend you. Please bear with me if I offend you. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he looked at the people in front of him, wondering if they would answer for him. It's not that we don't want to say it, but after hesitating for a long time, the people didn't say a few words. Bai Luo didn't know what to say when he saw the scene in front of him. Since you don't have anything to say, then we'll leave first. Since there is nothing to say, there is no need to waste time here. After all, everyone's time is precious. Why waste it here if you don't know what to say? Hey, it's not. When Bai Luo really asked everyone to prepare to leave, the people finally spoke up to explain the reason. Talk about it. Can't we talk about it? Bai Luo looked at the people in front of him who were finally willing to give in. He also stopped and took back the foot that was originally taking a step forward. Wouldn't it be better to do this earlier? We don't need to go to so much trouble. Bai Luo looked at the few people and prepared to listen to what they were saying. It's like this. I don't know what's going on in our village recently. People keep disappearing for no reason. We've investigated, but we can't find anything. After saying that, several people sighed. Oh, I really don't know what to do. How many people have disappeared for no reason in the past few days? After Bai Luo asked, the people suddenly stopped talking. They didn't know how to answer. Well, about 10 or 20 people. The people roughly counted, and it was about this number, so they explained to Bai Luo. So many people disappeared for no reason, and you told us that if something happened, can you afford it? Bai Luo said this because he was concerned about the safety of others. But we didn't know we couldn't find you at first. The words of the people made Bai Luo fall into the city. Indeed, they couldn't find their location at that time, so it was not their fault. Then take us to find their whereabouts now. If we can't find them, we will go with you. Bai Luo had already forgotten about the jungle adventure at this time. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar first published this novel. Wait a minute. Brother Bai. At this time, several other people called Bai Luo aside and wanted to tell him something in private, so Bai Luo followed them to the place where the people were not. What's going on? Can't you explain it directly on the spot? Bai Luo, who was suddenly pulled aside, didn't know what these people wanted to say to him. Brother Bai, don't you think it's a bit strange? We seem to have never seen these people before. They are completely unfamiliar faces. Their words immediately woke Bai Luo up, as if there was indeed no appearance of these people in his mind. Yes, if we listen to them at this time, what if they are lying to us? What if they are not real villagers? What the people around him said made sense, but Bai Luo was very concerned about the missing people at this time. But what if what they said is true? Won't we lose the best opportunity to rescue people? Bai Luo said this, making it impossible for others to refute. After all, they also wanted to save people. What's more, it's not a big deal for us to know what they look like. We can't know all of them. Bai Luo suddenly thought that his memory was indeed not bad, but it was normal that he couldn't remember so many people. Well, after Bai Luo finished speaking, everyone was powerless to refute. Okay, I know you are also considering our safety, but what we should do now is not to doubt them, but to go with them to see if those people can be found. If not, we can talk about it later. Duo 2 had nothing to say at this time, because after all, he believed in Bai Luo's judgment. Anyway, we'd better be careful. These people's faces are too unfamiliar. I don't have any memory of them at all. Duo 2 has the best memory among these people. If he can't remember anything, it means there is really a problem. That's why he said that. Chapter 697, Unsuccessful Search. Okay. Bai Luo had no choice but to agree with him. He had some idea in his mind. Okay, let's go back quickly and go forward with them to find out. Bai Luo pulled everyone to the direction of the Baixing Gate and went there to look for it with them. Immediately, several people returned to the original place. You are finally back, so let's set off now. These people were very anxious. I don't know if Duo 2 thought too much or if these people really had problems. Anyway, Duo 2 always felt that these people were a little strange. Hey, forget it, trust them first. Anyway, we are in large numbers and they can't do anything to us. If something really happens, we can resist it. Duo 2 could only comfort himself in this way. Let's go now. Bai Luo shouted to the people to go forward together. Time passed half a morning in a flash. But what made them hopeful was that they searched around here for a whole circle, but they didn't find anything or anyone. Not to mention that they lost more than 10 or 20 people, and now they can't even find a single person. They don't know what to do next. How could this happen? We've walked around all the way, and we haven't seen anyone. They can't. Duo 2 didn't finish the last half of his sentence, but even if he didn't say it, everyone knew what he meant. Okay, let's think about the good side. Don't think so sadly. Bai Luo came back to comfort everyone and said these words, but in fact, He knew in his heart that these people should have no hope. Bai Luo sighed secretly in his heart, but no one noticed. Drip drip drip. It would be fine if they didn't find anyone at this time, but the weather was not good. Drops of rain fell. Why is it raining suddenly? We haven't even found anyone. How can we continue like this? The people who were looking for someone suddenly felt a heavy rain falling from the sky at this time. No way. Is it really impossible to find this person? Are we just going back like this? Bai Luo was very worried at this time. There is no other way. We can only take shelter from the rain first. It is impossible to go to look for people in such a heavy rain, right? What Duotu said was indeed reasonable. Everyone also needed to take good care of themselves and not catch a cold because of looking for people. Let's go. Duotu shouted to the people and his brothers, because after all, only in this way can we ensure that we will not get sick later and have more strength to look for those people. Humph. Duotu and Bai Luo led the way in front, but what they didn't know at this time was that someone smiled in the dark. This smile was very sinister, as if nothing had been discovered. I don't know where these people came from, but the danger has not come yet. But through the smiles of these people, we know that what will happen next will not be so simple, and there must be something bigger hidden behind. It didn't take long for Duotu and Bai Luo to lead the people back to their original place. Everyone, take a rest first. There is nothing else to do now. Bai Luo arranged for everyone to stay in a place where they would not get wet for the time being. After all, the rain is really getting heavier and heavier now, as if it was pouring down from the sky. Yes, everyone, take a good rest first. Hiss. Originally everyone was staying where they were, but not long after, some people began to shout in surprise. Ouch. At this time, there were not just 2 people, but a large group of people. What happened to you? Why did you have such a reaction? Duotu looked at their appearance and didn't know what to do. But he had never encountered such a situation before, so he could only ask everyone if they were uncomfortable. What is your current situation? Bai Luo was very worried about everyone's situation, because everyone seemed to be uncomfortable. It's so itchy. Everyone said in unison. Bai Luo didn't know how to solve the current situation, because after all, he had never encountered such a situation before, but now he has a medicine that can suppress the itching. Let me try this medicine for you first. This medicine can stop itching anyway, but I don't know if it can improve your current situation. But it's better to have it than not. So Bai Luo immediately took out the medicine for everyone to treat, wanting to cure everyone as quickly as possible. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus underscore. But things did not develop as Bai Luo had imagined. Before Bai Luo applied medicine to everyone, the skin where everyone was staying had already begun to fester. It hurts. Originally it was just itchy, but now it has become painful and itchy. Everyone's skin has become the same. What is going on? How could everyone's situation become so bad? Wasn't it good at the beginning? Duotu didn't know what to do at this time. He immediately looked at Bai Luo, wondering if he had any good ideas. Ouch. Bai Luo didn't know what to do either. What should I do? Why did everyone become like this? He didn't know where to start. Right. At this moment, Bai Luo suddenly remembered what Duotu had said to him before. We don't know these villagers. Let's focus on the local area. What if they are not telling the truth? What Duotu said to him before is now circling in Bai Luo's mind. Oh, if I had listened to Duotu, I would have thought about how these people looked so strange, and I really had never met them before. What should I do? Now I'm the one who hurt everyone. Bai Luo regretted it very much, but it's useless to regret now. I have medicine in my hand, so I will treat everyone quickly. What if it works? Bai Luo comforted himself. At this time, Duotu, who originally didn't have any strange reactions, became very itchy. Hiss. Bai Luo hadn't been so panicked before, but when Duotu was in this situation, Bai Luo really didn't know what to do. Hold on for a while, I'll give you medicine right away. Bai Luo took out the medicine and prepared to apply it to Duotu. You stay here, and I'll go find those people later. I think there is something wrong with those people. I should have listened to you at that time. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he placed Duo 2 here with the others and ran out to find those people alone. Chapter 698, Familiar Breath. This matter was not as simple as Bai Luo imagined. These people could not be found at all. Oh, if I had known this, why did I do it in the first place? Bai Luo regretted it so much at this time. Huh? What are these? Bai Luo ran outside. He originally wanted to find their whereabouts, but he didn't find them at this time. Instead, he found a lot of fragments. When he looked closer, he found that these fragments were the villagers' clothes. Because he had contacted the villagers here before, he knew what the villagers' clothes looked like. Oh my god. That's it. After Bai Luo saw these things, he instantly understood the reason. The next second, Bai Luo immediately ran back to the original place and called some other people who were not injured. You guys, hurry up and follow me to the jungle. Bai Luo didn't have time to say so much to them. He just wanted everyone to follow him and not ask anything else. Are we going to? Everyone still wanted to ask clearly. We are going to the jungle to find something. Before everyone finished asking, Bai Luo spoke first. Soon, Bai Luo led a group of people into the jungle. Everyone, search quickly and try to complete the task as soon as possible. After Bai Luo finished speaking, he also began to search. The sooner we can find it, the sooner. Time passed quickly, and Bai Luo began to sigh. The people around him did not come to find him, and he himself had not made any new discoveries. Hey, I suddenly remembered that there are some plants called wisteria orchids on the west side of this member. Mondo reminded Bai Luo. Bai Luo was very excited after hearing this. Oh, what does this do? Bai Luo asked. As far as I know, this medicine seems to be able to heal the wounded. Mondo replied. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go over there and look for this medicine. It would be best if we can give it to everyone as soon as possible. After that, the group immediately prepared to go to the west. It was not very smooth on the road, and they were blocked by some small monsters. But this did not delay their determination to go to the west. In the end, several people still got and rescued the big guy. This is too strange. I think there is something I can't figure out during this period. Bai Luo felt that these things were strange, but he couldn't tell what was strange. So, Bai Luo turned around and went back to study the few monsters that had blocked him before. The types of these monsters seemed to be different from the ones we encountered before. Bai Luo suddenly discovered something, and he was very surprised by this discovery. If nothing unexpected happens, this should be the evil spirits that possessed the bodies of ordinary kind beasts, so that they turned into monsters. After some speculation, Bai Luo knew some answers. These monsters didn't attack me out of their own will. Bai Luo got even angrier after hearing this news. Bai Luo, must kill all the evil spirits. Bai Luo swore on the spot. You guys go back and rest first. There are so many things today, and I'm very tired. Although I was very angry, I couldn't let other me feel my emotions, and I hoped that everyone would go back and rest first. Brother Bai, what about you? Everyone was also very worried about Bai Luo's condition, because after all, he had experienced so many things, and he was the most worried. Hey, I'll sit here and practice for a while, don't worry about me. Bai Luo evaded the others' words. Everyone had no choice but to go back. The next morning, Bai Luo got up very early, but he was still thinking about that matter. After all, the matter in the jungle had not been resolved, and Bai Luo was always worried. He still remembered some relics he found in the jungle. Because of the special circumstances at that time, he did not stay to think about this matter carefully. Thinking about it again, Bai Luo still felt that it was necessary to investigate this matter. However, the jungle was still quite dangerous, which was why Bai Luo kept delaying. But now, according to the current situation, Bai Luo felt that it was necessary for him to go there again recently. He felt that there must be a project he wanted there. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel for the first time. It just so happened that he could take time to go there these days. Thinking of this, Bai Luo immediately stood up. because he didn't know if there would be other dangers there. Bai Luo didn't plan to go there alone. Then he went to the side room to find Mondo and Duo too. They seemed to have just gotten up, so Bai Luo walked over directly. I plan to go to the jungle later. After all, I found some ruins there last time, but I didn't investigate it clearly last time, so I want to check it out again. I don't know what the situation is over there. This time, you can follow me. We can take care of each other then. The two naturally had no objections. They didn't need to pack anything, and then took some people to follow Bai Luo. The speed of several people was very fast, and they got up and set off soon. Because Bai Luo was very familiar with the place, he led the way directly in front. They didn't waste any time, and all the time was used to hurry up. There was no unexpected thing happening in front, and they didn't encounter any danger. Everything went very smoothly, but Bai Luo, who was walking in the front, suddenly stopped. After seeing this situation, Mondo immediately solved it. He quickly took out his weapon and then looked around carefully. But nothing happened around, and Mondo didn't notice any movement. Bai Luo noticed the movement of his hands, and then he waved to Mondo behind him. He turned sideways and said to Mondo beside him, "It's not that there are other people around here. I just felt a very familiar breath in the air just now. It seems to be an old friend. But I can't be sure now, but this breath is indeed very familiar." After hearing Bai Luo's words, Mondo slowly stopped the movement of his hands. He looked at Bai Luo in front of him with some doubts, and then asked, "Then what should we do next, Brother Bai? Should we find a way to ask your old friend to find it?" Bai Luo stayed where he was and didn't move. He frowned and was thinking about this matter. Just now, he did feel that very familiar breath, not far ahead, but Bai Luo was also worried whether it was another trap. If that was really the case, it would be too dangerous for him to go there like this. But if he didn't go there, he might miss another clue. Chapter 699. Take a break. So this also made Bai Luo a little entangled. Mondo on the side seemed to see Bai Luo's worries, and he probably guessed what Bai Luo was entangled about. Then Mondo patted Bai Luo on the shoulder and said, "Brother Bai, if we really find the breath of an old friend, I think we can go and check it out. After all, we came here to find clues this time, and we can't be timid all the time. In order to find useful clues, we must pay a price. It's useless to dwell on this matter." Mondo was right. Some of the decisions he made during this period were indeed too cautious. It's just that what happened recently was too incredible for Bai Luo, so he was also worried about whether there would be other problems. But if he kept thinking about it like this, and didn't make a decision, he might return empty-handed later. Then their trip was in vain, so Bai Luo finally nodded and pointed in another direction. "Then let's go over and check the situation. Let's see if this breath really exists. I want to see what the situation is like over there." Then Bai Luo went directly in that direction, and a group of people followed him. Because some time had been wasted before, Bai Luo moved very fast. He strode forward. He was still feeling the breath in the air, but soon found that the breath suddenly disappeared. But now he had to continue to move forward, because he was almost sure that he must have felt the breath at that time. Even if the breath had disappeared now, Bai Luo felt that he could continue to move forward. But at this time, a strong wind suddenly blew. This strong wind was accompanied by a sandstorm. This sandstorm came too suddenly, and they had no time to react. After that, they were directly trapped in the sandstorm. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo also hurriedly shouted to the back, "Everyone, be careful, lower your center of gravity, and don't be blown away by the wind. If you can't hold on, call for help." Bai Luo and his friends didn't stop. After all, the situation here is so difficult that they must leave here quickly. However, due to the bad weather, they moved very slowly. But after a while, Bai Luo found that they were still trapped in the sandstorm. He couldn't help but look ahead and found that the scope of the sandstorm was really large. Even he was about to be unable to hold on, and Bai Luo was also worried about the condition of others, so Bai Luo finally gave up the decision to continue forward. Since the decision had been made, Bai Luo quickly led everyone back the same way. because he couldn't joke with other people's lives, although he really wanted to know what was over there. If he continued to walk like this, Bai Luo didn't know what would happen next. But fortunately, they didn't go very far into the sandstorm, so it didn't take much time to return the same way. Soon Bai Luo led them out. Bai Luo couldn't help but look at the place he had just walked into, and then sighed. It seems that this is the only way now. The situation over there seems to be worse than I thought, so let's leave it at that. Since Bai Luo had already said this, no one said anything more. Then they followed Bai Luo and left here, and they returned to their original residence. But just when they were close to this place, Bai Luo found another breath, but this breath seemed to be different from the breath he encountered over there at that time. This was a very obvious breath of a strong man. Although this breath was fleeting, Bai Luo still captured it keenly. Now he really couldn't catch him out, and he couldn't be sure whether he really existed. So he didn't plan to tell everyone about this matter, so as not to make people panic. But he still wanted everyone to be vigilant, and then Bai Luo turned around and said to everyone, "Let's leave it at that for today. Everyone go back and have a good rest. Don't act rashly while you stay here. Remember to be careful. Try not to go out these 2 days. If anything goes wrong, come to me." Bai Luo's expression was very serious, and Duo beside him nodded quickly. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar's first release of this novel. Brother Bai, don't worry. Since you have said so, we will be very careful. Because some people also nodded in agreement. Seeing that everyone had taken this matter to heart, Bai Luo also nodded with satisfaction. Because there was no other discovery in the jungle this time, Bai Luo had nothing to investigate further. Bai Luo has been staying here these days. He didn't find anything wrong, at least those who wanted to go against him didn't show up. This day, Bai Luo was inspecting the situation here, and then he saw a group of blue elves passing by. Actually, this was nothing to surprise Bai Luo, but Bai Luo saw that they were all very decadent and walked without spirit. This was completely different from when they first came. Bai Luo was a little worried. He looked at them and then walked directly to the blue elf with tentacles. He called it and then frowned. Did something happen here? Why do I feel that you are all listless, and it seems that something has happened? Since you have all settled down here, you can tell me directly if you have any discomfort. The blue elf looked at Bai Luo, hesitated for a while and then spoke. Actually, it's nothing. The main thing is that there have been a lot of troubles here recently, and we need to solve them. In the process of solving them, some mana will naturally be consumed. Our body functions are maintained by mana. Since the mana in the body is consumed a little quickly, everyone is naturally not in spirit now. After listening to the blue elf's words, Bai Luo couldn't help but frown. After all, these blue elves were sent by the guardians. Although Bai Luo had some other ideas in his mind, he had no evidence now. So he still had to treat them well. This was not a big deal. A lot of things had happened here recently. Chapter 700 Our Angzu returns. But they could handle it here. They had already made preparations before these blue elves came. So Bai Luo didn't need much manpower, and then he smiled and patted the blue elf's shoulder. Since your body can't bear it anymore, you should take a good rest for a while. We are not so short of manpower here. You just stay in the room and rest. I will let other people do your work. But after hearing Bai Luo say this, the blue elf also shook his head quickly. That won't work. We came here to help you. We have only been here for a few days. How can we just go back and rest? Although our bodies are indeed a little bit overwhelmed, it is not that serious. Bai Luo was also a little helpless. After all, he had agreed to let them stay here, and he would not change his mind later. Letting them rest now is for their own good, but these people just don't understand. So Bai Luo couldn't do anything about them. Since these people were unwilling to rest by themselves, Bai Luo would find a way to help them recover the spiritual power in their bodies. After all, they often need to find a place with abundant spiritual power to practice. If the spiritual power in these blue elves is already a little scarce, Bai Luo can take them there. Then Bai Luo took the initiative to speak. If you don't mind, come with me to a place. The spiritual power in that place is very sufficient, and it must be helpful to you. You just need to rest well there, and you will recover soon. Bai Luo also felt that he had done his best, but he didn't expect that the blue elf in front of him would directly reject him. And his reaction this time was a little stronger than before. He waved his hand hurriedly. No, those places are built by humans. It's really not good for us to practice in such places this year, so forget it. After saying this, the blue elf didn't seem to want to say anything more to Bai Luo, and then hurried away. Looking at the back of the blue elf leaving, Bai Luo's expression was full of confusion. How could it be built by humans? After all, Bai Luo didn't send anyone to build such things. In Bai Luo's impression, these things were originally there. But the blue elf just said it so confidently. Could it be that he had some misunderstanding? It happened that there was nothing to do now, so Bai Luo wanted to investigate this matter and see if that place was man-made. When it was late at night, Bai Luo hurriedly got up to investigate this matter. There were not many people here now. If it was during the day, there would be many people coming here to practice. But why did the blue elf say that these things were built by humans? Bai Luo really didn't understand it, and then he went to check the situation here. Bai Luo, long time no see. After half a cup of tea, Bai Luo suddenly heard a very familiar voice. This was the body's subconscious reaction. He looked in the direction of the voice, and then saw a face that he was very familiar with. It turned out to be Aoyangzu. How could Aoyangzu suddenly appear here? Wasn't he still in another world? Seeing this situation, Bai Luo couldn't help but stand there in a daze. He had no idea what was going on. Aoyangzu on the other side also looked at Bai Luo in front of him with some confusion. Bai Luo, what's with that expression on your face? Are you not happy to see me? Bai Luo shook his head. She was naturally very happy to see Aoyangzu. But he did not expect that the turn of events would happen so quickly, and he did not even react at all. Bai Luo quickly walked to Aoyangzu and then tentatively touched her face. After discovering that Aoyangzu was real, he almost subconsciously hugged her. Zua, it's so great to see you again. I finally found you. Aoyangzu naturally did not quite understand, but she still smiled. Why are you suddenly telling me this? Am I not doing well here? Just as the two were still talking, another familiar voice came over. You two are going too far. After all, there are so many of us here. Is it really okay to show off your affection without paying attention to others? This was Chen Fang's voice. Bai Luo looked over there. He found that not only Chen was here, but also all his friends were here. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus book bar published this novel for the first time. This really surprised Bai Luo. Could it be that his mission had been completed? But weren't there many things that had not been solved? How could he suddenly return to the way he was at the beginning? Bai Luo was very confused. After all, there were still many doubts that had not been solved, so Bai Luo didn't dare to believe everything in front of him. At this time, Bai Luo suddenly heard the voice of the system. Bai Luo, now your mission has been completed, and I have fulfilled my promise. I will not control your freedom now, and you can go back now. After listening to the system's words, Bai Luo asked directly, go back? Where to go back? Bai Luo's mind was very confused now. He had many questions that no one answered for him. So his tone was also very anxious, hoping that the system could tell him the reason quickly. But his questions had never been answered, and the voice of the system disappeared from his mind. What on earth was going on? Since the system is unwilling to tell him now, Bai Luo has no way to deal with the system. After all, the system has done this kind of thing many times. Then Bai Luo pulled his thoughts back. After all, he is the only one who can hear the system. Now he is standing there motionless, which must make people around him suspicious. Sure enough, when he came to his senses, he found that Aoyangzu and Chen Fang were looking at him with very puzzled eyes. In order to prevent everyone from thinking too much, Bai Luo smiled and then looked at Aoyangzu beside him. Bai Luo did not take the initiative to speak, but Aoyangzu beside him was very worried about Bai Luo's safety. She was also curious about what happened to Bai Luo during this period of time. After all, Bai Luo disappeared without a trace during this period of time. Now that Bai Luo has finally returned, Gao Yangzu naturally wants to clarify this matter. Bai Luo, where have you been all this time? We tried to find you in many places, but couldn't find you. Is there something wrong with you over there? Chapter 701, Perfection. Bai Luo hesitated for a moment. He didn't know how to tell them about this matter. After all, there were too many things that happened during this period that he couldn't tell, and he couldn't explain it clearly for a while. Bai Luo was silent for a while, and finally gave a vague answer. Actually, I went to deal with evil spirits during this period. I led people to kill a lot of evil spirits nearby. During this period, I was preparing to break through their base camp, and then it suddenly became like this. After all, he didn't know what happened later, so Bai Luo couldn't continue to talk. After hearing Bai Luo's words, Gao Yangzu couldn't help but frowned. Then he said hesitantly, those evil spirits have been eliminated by us. They no longer exist, so you don't need to worry about anything. After hearing this, Bai Luo couldn't help but widen his eyes. What does this mean? Why did our Yangzu say that those evil spirits had been eliminated by them? After all, these things are not so easy to deal with, but our Yangzu said it so lightly. What's going on? How come these things were destroyed so easily? Gao Yangzu smiled and then looked at Bai Luo in front of her. Isn't it a good thing that these bad things were destroyed? We should be happy for them. And you don't have to worry too much about things here. You should just take good care of your injuries now. But Bai Luo was still a little worried about the situation here and continued to ask. You have to tell me what's going on. Otherwise, I won't be worried. Gao Yangzu sighed, obviously not wanting to say anything more. I'll tell you about this later. Anyway, it's certain that those evil spirits have been destroyed. I'm also very tired, so I also need to rest. Since our Yangzu had already said this, Bai Luo naturally wouldn't continue to ask. Because he still believed in our Yangzu very much, and our Yangzu had her reasons for doing this. And what our Yangzu said was not wrong. Now those evil spirits have been destroyed, and there is no need for him to keep dwelling on this matter. Okay, let's leave it at that for now. After finishing the work here, Bai Luo also felt very tired. He fell asleep on the bed without realizing it, and when he woke up again, he found that he was awakened by a knock on the door. The knock on the door was very loud, and Bai Luo could also feel that the person outside the door was very anxious. After seeing this situation, Bai Luo couldn't help but frowned. Who could it be at this time? Bai Luo was also confused. He slowly got up, and then heard a very loud sound of firecrackers coming from outside. What is this for? Why is it so lively here all of a sudden? Bai Luo got up and walked towards the hall, looking at the door with some doubts. Just then, Daoist walked towards him, and Bai Luo stopped him directly, and then asked, why is it so lively outside all of a sudden? Is there any big happy event for the people nearby? There are knocks on the door and firecrackers, but I have never seen them make such a big scene before. Daoist looked very happy, and he looked at Bai Luo in front of him with a smile. Brother Bai, you don't know about this. I just found out when I went outside. Now that you have led people to eliminate those bad guys nearby, the people can live and work in peace, and everyone is naturally very grateful to you. They are doing this to thank you, Brother Bai. Now many people are waiting outside the door. Brother Bai, you just woke up. Let's go over and take a look. After hearing Daoist's words, Bai Luo didn't know how to react for a moment. After all, he did so many things not to make people thank him, and now he is a little embarrassed to make such a big scene. But since they are all here, Bai Luo can't turn them away. Then Bai Luo walked over there, and as expected, he saw a large group of people. After seeing Bai Luo coming, those people also rushed to Bai Luo's side. They seemed to have a lot of gifts in their hands, and smiled and greeted Bai Luo. Among the people, a respected elder brother also stood up, and he held Bai Luo's hand very excitedly. Bai Luo, thank you so much for this. If it weren't for you, we would still be troubled by those bad guys. Now that you have driven them all away, our future life will be better. Bai Luo was about to wave his hand, but he continued. Read the error-free version at 69 book bar. 6 equals 9 plus BOOK_BAR released this novel. We ordinary villagers can't do anything for you. Your help to us is a great achievement. We are thinking of building a temple to pay tribute to you. Now we all agree. Let's choose a good day to build a temple directly." After hearing these words, Bai Luo's reaction was also very strong. "I really don't do these things to let you build a temple for me. You don't need to take it too seriously. You don't need to build a temple. You can use the money for building a temple to live a good life." But this group of people didn't intend to give up at all. They seemed to have made up their minds. Then they talked to Bai Luo for a long time, which was nothing more than thanking Bai Luo for his help and hoping that Bai Luo would accept their kindness. Later, Bai Luo was helpless. Actually, it was indeed the good intentions of these people, so Bai Luo finally agreed. After finally sending these people away, Bai Luo couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. These people were indeed very enthusiastic, but since things were already like this, Bai Luo didn't need to think about it anymore. As soon as he walked into the house, he saw Ao Yangzu, who had just woken up. Ao Yangzu's complexion now looked really good. The whole person looked a lot more energetic, and her face was very rosy. Seeing that Ao Yangzu was in good health, Bai Luo was also very happy. He walked over and touched Ao Yangzu's head and then said with a smile, "Zua, you look really good today. Seeing you like this, I can't be more relieved. Yeah. By the way, I want to ask about the elders. Why didn't I see them?" Indeed, since Ao Yangzu and the others came back, they haven't seen each other. He has returned to his sect a long time ago. Hahaha, this old guy. Bai Luo smiled, and Ao Yangzu also smiled. Both of them looked very happy. From then on, Bai Luo and Ao Yangzu lived a happy life. Other friends also lived in the town. They meditated and practiced very leisurely. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.